Hey everyone, it's Rex over at Dynamic Forces. Join us on Monday night on The Experience from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. Eastern. There'll be great comic collectibles, and you'll have me, my buddy Robbie, and my buddy John. Okay, Robbie knows the comics, I sell the comics, and John just takes the comics all the way home. Anyway, join us on Monday night. We'll see you there.
What is up, everybody? Welcome to Pop Culture Philosophers. In fact, welcome to Rockin Robbie Live here on a Sunday night, specifically June 12th, 2022. What is up, everybody? I'm your host, Rockin Robbie Billups. This is the show where we gather, talk about comics, movies, pop culture, and a whole lot more. And we got a great show tonight. Of course, we'll be talking about our favorite comic books from last week. We'll be looking ahead at what's coming up in shops this week, including the DC sneak peek. We'll be doing a movie review on the next step in the chronological journey of John Carpenter's films, Assault on Precinct 13. We'll be doing an Image in the 90s bit celebrating Jim Lee's debut at Image. So I'm pretty sure you know we're about to be talking about some Wildcats tonight. Also, we got top 5 movies of 2006. A little bit of show and tell. And we're totally talking Turtles tonight, y'all. But even though we have a grandiose plan, a vision for the show, if you will, this show is driven, fueled, if you will, by your questions, your thoughts, your comments, and your concerns. So what do you want to talk about? Get your thoughts in right now. And once you drop in, just let us know you're here. Drop out a station, maybe a pop, pop, boom, something like that. We get Entropy and Comics in the house. What's up? What's up, Matthew? What's up, the artist formerly known as Jesse Say What? Very excited to see everybody in here, especially the early birds. We got James in the house, Evil Face Bad. Mike06 Station, my fellow member of the Excitable PCP crew. Mike is in the house. Also, we got Mike Holden. We got Joram. We got R. Ariaga. At first, I thought you said, good evening, Gentile people. But he says gentle people. Either would apply. What's up, officially unofficial geek? How you doing? What's up, CTA Frank? Hope you've been able to watch Top Gun. I really love that movie. I have not watched Top Gun yet, Ariaga, at all, unfortunately. I do want to get to that. Obviously, Jurassic Park's out now. That's one I want to get to. What's up, Jacob? How you doing? What is up, William? Yes, the Yankees doing real good. Crushed the Cubs over the weekend, in particular today. Slightly embarrassing for Cubs fans, I'm sure. But for a Yankees fan, pretty freaking dope. Very excited about that. So how's everybody doing? I will encourage you to follow Pop Culture Philosophers on Facebook and on Instagram. If you're on Facebook, join the PCP Army. That is the official Pop Culture Philosophers Facebook group. You can find podcasts and more at popculturephilosophers.com, including our newest episode all about comic book villains with me, John Hammertime Holshoe, Dashing Drew Matson, and Jolly Joe Corallo. Also, you can follow me on Twitter if you feel so inclined over at Twitter, at the Rockin Robbie, and you can support the channel at patreon.com/PCP, like these fine PCP patrons right there. PCP Patriots, one and all. Thank you so much for the support. You can also support with Super Chat, which will trigger some kind of musical video. And all the support we really need, though, is y'all being here, liking, sharing, subscribing, commenting, supporting the show by your participation. I will encourage everybody, if you're ever looking for comics online, I got to figure out where everything is. And if you ever want to check out dynamicforces.com, they got lots of great graded books, signed books, remarked books, things like that. Check them out at dynamicforces.com. If you choose to get something, be sure to enter Robbie at your cart. That will get you 10% off. You can also join me with them, of course, over at The Experience. My good buddy Rex, you saw the little promo. I'm glad that he calls me his buddy now. So there you go. That will be tomorrow night, 5 p.m. Central Time. The Rockin Robbie tour is coming to Charlotte, North Carolina in just a couple of weeks. I will be at Heroes Con. It's going to be a great show. If you're in the area, if you're going to be there, just let me know. Hell yeah. Tomorrow night at 8 p.m. Central Time, we're going to be talking about Dr. Sleep. That is Manny's pick from Tomorrow Cinema. This is Manny's pick for Crew's Choice. This was the first time I've watched this film. I have thoughts. I'm excited to talk about it. Also excited to talk about the second episode of Ms. Marvel. This is the thumbnail for the first one. I think the second thumbnail will be the same. It will just say episode 2. But on Wednesday night at 8 p.m. Central Time, join me and the PCP Army Bad Batch as we discuss in spoilery detail our thoughts and feelings on the latest episode of Ms. Marvel. Thursday night on the channel, 7 p.m. Central Time, we're having a conversation with Sean Lewis. He's got an upcoming book with Hayden Sherman called Above Snakes. He has other works with Hayden Sherman that are fantastic, like Thumbs and The Few. He is also the current writer on The Scorched and King Spawn, my favorite Spawn title. So I'm very excited to welcome Sean to PCP Land. And then Dylan's Horror Show on Saturday night at 6:30 p.m.-ish Central Time. Join us as we talk about the Hammer film Horror Express, a film I've actually not seen. So, interesting. So there you go. How is everybody doing? Excited to see you. OUG says, from what I hear, it's not some huge feat to beat the Cubs right now. It's not, but come on. Yankees looking good. Yankees looking good. So what do you want to chat about? I'll start off here. What's up, Circumstances? How you doing? What's up, Luke Meister? What's up, JH Rosa? What's up, Two Gun? Pew pew. How are y'all doing? What's up, Mike? Nova 69. We got Eric in the house too. Jacob, everybody, what is up? What was I going to start with? Obi-Wan. I'm liking Obi-Wan. I don't think it's the greatest thing out there. It's not Mandalorian, for sure. But I do enjoy it. I like it. Like I said, it's not perfect. I got some issues with it, but those issues don't affect my overall enjoyment watching it. So I'm enjoying Obi-Wan Kenobi. I thought episode 4 was pretty cool. The turn in characters is happening. He's starting to accept the call now. And that's dope, and that's cool. And loved Ms. Marvel episode 1. Loved it. Total representation of that comic book. Very accurate. Portrayed on screen incredibly well by all of the actors, including Amon. Cannot remember her last name right now. But a great job with that show. Obviously geared towards a younger audience. But even a bunch of 30, 40-year-old dudes liked it. So that was pretty cool. Pretty cool. What are y'all thinking about Obi-Wan? What are y'all thinking about Ms. Marvel? Saw the Yanks live on Friday. Aaron Hicks hit a dinger. Nice. Nice to see him do something. Mike says, Ms. Marvel episode 1 was actually pretty good. Yeah, I think so too. It was really good. Like, all of us at the show on Wednesday, and if you haven't checked it out, and you've seen Ms. Marvel episode 1, and you want to see a bunch of people talking about it, excuse me, check out that show. It was me. It was Nick from Comic Culture. It was Fable. It was Steph. It was Brando. It was Taki. And we had a great conversation about Miss Marvel. And overall, all of us really liked it. One of us even gave it a 5 you digs for the first episode. 5 you digs. I gave it like a 4.5, I think. But one of us gave it a 5 you digs. Who? I'm not going to tell you. You gotta watch the show for that. Mike says The Boys is the best show currently streaming, though. I haven't watched a lick of The Boys, but I just caught up on Stranger Things today. I watched episode 7 of season 4, and now I'm eagerly anticipating the finale because I fucking loved Stranger Things season 4. Holy shit. Now, I know a lot of people start falling off in seasons 2 and 3. I loved 2 and 3. I liked 3 over 2, but I loved 2. But in season 1, it's like classic. That's like will always stand, I think. But I really like this. I mean, they've really done a good job of understanding the characters and letting the characters grow beyond their original intentions. And this has been punctuated throughout the series by introducing newer characters like Billy and Max and Robin. And now we're getting to see Max and Robin really kind of fleshed out even more in this season. And then you got the addition of, Argyle, and then Eddie, and where they're going to want, like, I love it. I'm not going to talk any spoilers about it or anything right now, but like, holy shit. I love me some Stranger Things. The 11 story, I really enjoyed. That was the only thing that felt kind of dragged down. And I don't mean in an awesome, like, RuPaul's Drag Race kind of way. But, like, that was the only one that kind of slowed up, right? That story kind of slowed up. And it went to a predictable place as you were watching it. But the reveal was still incredibly well handled. And I really liked the first volume of season 4 of Stranger Things. We have 2 more episodes. They launch on July 1st. And, I mean, those 2 episodes, I think, are like, let's see, like almost 4 or 5 hours of content. So, see, that's the thing, Mike, is I didn't necessarily always quite dig on the comics when they were coming out, but I have heard good things about The Boys. And now that I'm caught up on Stranger Things, I'm probably going to jump into The Boys, get caught up on that, so I can be in the know, and then I'm going to go classic, and I'm going to spend my TV time watching Twin Peaks. Circumstances says, 2 more episodes that are like movie length, can't wait. OUG says that reveal with Elle was crazy. Yeah, I liked it. Eddie is awesome, OUG. And Circumstances says, Eddie is my favorite addition. Love that dude. Eddie is my favorite new addition. I fucking love Eddie. It's a cool story. And there's a conversation he has with Steve at one point that's like, they're actually getting deep into the character. One character they haven't gotten too deep with, but is a good addition, is Argyle. Now, Argyle's your typical California stoner dude, but my favorite bit with him is the pass the duchy upon the left-hand side, pass the duchy upon the left-hand side, oh, yeah. That song, and just like that, like, I don't know, but there is a scene that does involve him eventually, but the scene at the Myers house, there's a rather intense action scene that I thought was like, holy shit. Like, that's one of the best action sequences I've seen in anything in a while. I mean, maybe since the last Mission Impossible film, or John Wick or some shit. Pass the duchy upon the left-hand side. It's about time for a break. For some reason, my mind's gone off. All right. But yeah, I'm definitely going to plan on checking out The Boys because, you know, I do work with Dynamite doing this EXP show, and every time they mention The Boys, I'm like, I haven't watched it. Hits all the things that kids are into technology-wise. Okay, my bad. Little Leia saying, is this a staring contest with peak Leia? I've seen some hate on Little Leia from some people. I'm not going to name any names. And, you know, I get it. Some kids are really fucking annoying in movies. Talk to Jelani about that, right? But I really think Lil Leia has some charm and a cute factor that kind of works in a cartoon character type way. Rick is in the house. I really liked Obi-Wan's episode 1 and 2, but felt 3 and 4 were spinning wheels. I hope the next 2 episodes bring everything together. I thought Miss Marvel episode 1 was near perfect, though. Barry is the best show on streaming, though. I've never watched Barry. I heard it recently came back. Trenton says The Boys is awesome. Circumstances says Stranger Things is amazing. Can't stop thinking about it. Nova69 dude says, I thought Obi-Wan episode 4 was the best so far. Love the PTSD clone vet begging in the streets, holding out his helmet. That's a good bit. It was really cool, actually. I think the first episode's still my favorite. And I think a lot of people weren't expecting this type of character study on Obi-Wan. And I've heard comparisons to like expectations on, say, Luke and Last Jedi or something like that. Here it's working for me, though. I'm buying it a little bit more. There are certain things that I was expecting. I wish they would have gotten to quicker. We only have 2 episodes left. So what are they? How are they going to wrap this up? This is the gist of it. You know, this rescue of Lil Leia, that is it. Are we good? I mean, I'm interested to see what happens. Like I said, I don't think right now I would give Obi-Wan a 3.5 out of 5 overall is what I would give it. Stranger Things, I got to really think about that one. But I might do that one like 4, 5. And Miss Marvel, I gave a 4.5 for the first episode. Fable's in the house says 5 you digs for the Miss Marvel review. There is the link right there. Thank you so much. Circumstances says season 3 is second best. Season 4 is best. Are you talking about Stranger Things? I would go 1. I need to rewatch 3 and 2. But after 3, I went 1, 3, 2. And now I want to go 1. 4 and 3 are so even for me, but the 4 is like really. I gotta do what Jay Willie did, and actually do a revisit on Stranger Things all the way through. Maybe I should do that instead. Now I'm gonna watch The Boys next, and then Twin Peaks. Then I do want to get back to Westworld. I only watched that first episode. There's a lot of TV. I want to revisit The Sopranos. Why the fuck? I have to, if I want to make sure that I revisit or watch a movie or TV shows, I got to do a bit here on Rockin Robbie Live or create a whole show. That's what I got to do. This is the world I live in now. I only really commit to PCP. So that's apparently my life, and I'm cool with it. Go and watch The Boys in the Orville. I'll maybe get to that one day. Rick says, I think young Leia is cute. Works for me. And Chaos is in the house. The Boys is so good. Haven't seen this new stuff. Hell yeah. Thank you for being here, Chaos. I love the town hall scene with the dumb people blaming D&D and the devil. Made me think of Footloose. Yeah, and it's that satanic panic shit from the 80s. I got that stuff at my church because I used to wear these. Yeah, I listened to Kiss. I liked Kiss, and I would wear these fucking shirts with like skeletons skateboarding that would say "Bad to the Bone," and I watched Masters of the Universe, and I had Masters of the Universe toys and Transformers, and they were like, no one's more than meets the eye than God, Robbie, and they would like remember that toy box, like turmoil in the toy box shit, like that was what was going on in the church that I was attending at that time, at that age. They told me that Kiss would lead me to the occult. They were right. It took 30 years probably, but they were right. Argyle is Sean Penn in Fast Times at Richmond High. What was his name? Spicoli. Yes, Spicoli. Absolutely. Yuri is classic comedic relief. I like Yuri. Really like Murray in the film, too. I really like the Joyce Murray dynamic and the way that flows. I think it's good stuff. Mike says, I do have to catch up on Stranger Things. I only watched season 1 and the first episode of season 2. My son keeps telling me to get on with that and Young Justice. There's never enough time for all these great shows we want to watch. Mike says, kids are annoying in real life, but that's mostly teenagers. Damn, Chaos. I mean, true, but damn. Says, I hope little Leia doesn't get into coke like big Leia did. Evil Face Bad says, I do have to say Vader was scary walking down that street, choking people and breaking a dude's neck. Vader being scary is always a plus in my book. I thought he was scary in this newest episode when he comes after, what's her name? His third sister, some shit like that. Like, when he comes after her, I thought, I was scared for her. I don't give a shit about her in this movie, in this show. Like, I think that's the point, right? So it's fine and it's decent. I think there's more shit to reveal about her. But when that's happening, I was like, and knowing that she's going to be there till the end. She's going to be there till the end, at least, right? Because she's the main villain of the series. But when Vader shows up, I'm like, oh, man. Rick goes 1, 4, 3, 2 for Stranger Things, all right? Or as much coke, I guess. Eddie says, station y'all, I'm enjoying Obi-Wan, but it is pretty schlocky. William says, do not forget the Orville. I'll get to it eventually. I still got Strange New Worlds to watch. I haven't watched any of that yet. I hear it's good. Chaos says, I've never seen Stranger Things. I need to see Twin Peaks all the way through. See, I've never seen the Showtime revival from a few years ago, and I was really pumped to see that, but I never got to see it. So I'm going to do a rewatch of seasons 1 and 2, the original stuff, and then the movie, and then that. So that's my plan, at least. We'll see what happens. Trent says, just started Stranger Things. It's okay, just not my thing. Station. Makes sense. Hey, we got Jim Mint in the house. Pop, pop, boom. What is up? Everybody wish Jim Mint a happy birthday. It is Jim Mint Collectibles' birthday today. Not the birthday of the YouTube channel, but the birthday of the man, the myth, the legend, who's getting ready for his grandiose move. I'm excited for you, bro. Vermont? I was very shocked when he told me he was going to Vermont. Or was it Kansas? I don't remember. But the important thing is everybody wish Jim Mint a happy birthday. Hope you had a good day, bruh. What's up, Steph? How you doing? Comic Book Therapy's in the house, too. Mark says, Obi-Wan is mostly okay in and of itself, but it does not mesh well with established Star Wars lore. I guess at this point, they're expecting us to be used to them not fucking caring about established Star Wars lore. Fuck, because not even goddamn George Lucas said you seem to care too much. The gum you like is going to come back in style. I had a dream one time. Some little person told me that. Jacob says, highly recommend The Northman if anyone hasn't seen it yet. Top 3 movies of the year. I intend to watch The Northman. I haven't watched it yet, but I intend to. Hammer Time Holshoe's in the house. Hashtag the Vermont bit. Anyway, if I got to move to anywhere else, I don't know. Man. Like if logistics, like if I could just magically, like if people did it for me, I could just magically appear, because I hate moving. I've moved a lot, and I don't really want to move too much anymore. But I would like to visit, and travel. But if I ever like moved home base, that would be crazy. But I don't know, man. I don't know if I'd want to go to a beach. Beach seems cool, but like, I don't know. You probably get tired of all of it and shit. And like, what? I don't know, man. You know, it's probably, right? I thought about Portland. Then I met Bueller, and Bueller and me had a conversation one night. And I don't think I want to go to Portland. I think I just want to visit there. So I don't know. I'd like to be able to just like live in a place for a few months and leave if that was the station of my life. But obviously my shop's here, my homies are here, the crew's here, most of the crew. We're kind of spreading across, right? The army's everywhere though, you know what I'm saying? So I don't know. Puts the Jim in Gemini. Hey, that makes, yeah, you are a Gemini. That does make sense. Is that the hidden meaning of your YouTube channel? It has nothing to do with Jim Mint, like pristine collectibles and CGC grades and just nice statues and shit. It all has to do with Gemini. Of course, Gemini represents communication. Makes sense, my friend. Brian is in the house with it. What's up, Brian? Brian just had a birthday yesterday, so everybody wish Brian a happy fucking birthday, belated as it is. With a nice little tidbit of trivia, Jim, you were born on the same day Doc Ellis pitched a no-hitter on acid. True story. That's dope. I didn't realize that today was the anniversary of that. If I would have known that, I would have done this show on acid. I guess it would have been a Teen Dog Shades night. We haven't had one of those in a long time, have we? Hell yeah. All right, now that we've chit-chatted for almost a half an hour, it's time to actually get into the show. It's time for the first 5, everybody. First 5. And we're going through the Blu-ray collection. By the way, we have inherited the first 5 from Bueller and Bob from the Coffee and Comic Show, but we are going to graciously hand it back to them temporarily as they give us the 151st episode of the all-new, brand-new, all different Coffee and Comic Show tomorrow morning, returning for episode 151. Are you excited? Because I'm excited. You may see a boy on it. I'm just going to say you may see a boy. But we're doing the first 5 tonight. Going through the Blu-ray collections. We are in the S's. There you go. This is one of my newest acquisitions. I actually got this super cheap on eBay. This is the 2-disc edition of Sin City. I never upgraded from my DVD. Got rid of the DVD some time ago. I've been rereading the Sin City books because they've been re-releasing them. So I was like, you know what? I got to get the movie. I got to watch it. And you know what? I need to actually watch Sin City 2 for the first time. Then we got Sleepaway Camp. This is a fantastic camp slasher film. If you've never seen it and you don't know the ending, you owe it to yourself just to watch it and be like, what the fuck, Robbie? Why? But I love this movie. Felissa Rose is in this film. I've met her. She's super sweetheart. Then we got Sleepless. Picked this one up a couple months ago or so. This is part of the Argento collection. I've only seen this once and I don't really have a good memory of it. I saw it when it first came out. I remember not really liking it that much. I don't like late period Argento as much as I like, early and mid. But that being said, I aim to get every Argento film, so that's a must. Slither, a fantastic movie that we may be talking about later tonight. Got the Scream Factory with the slip, reversible cover. Love this film. We covered it on Dylan's Horror Show. Check that out. And then the myth, the legend, the Slumber Party Massacre. I fucking love this movie. I think it's goddamn brilliant. I love its sequel, Part 2. I've never seen Part 3, really want to, and I really want to own Part 2 and 3. However, super fucking expensive. Scream Factory released like a double feature of Part 2 and 3. It was like only 1,000 copies. It at one point got up to $500 on eBay. Now I think it's actually gone back down to more of the $250, $300 range. I'm not paying that for these fucking movies. And even the DVDs are rather expensive. So it's kind of bullshit. But I love this movie, and I love the second movie as well. Like, we covered the first one and the second one on Dylan's Horror Show, early on Dylan's Horror Show. And that has been our first 5. All right. What is up, everybody? Is that Hellraiser behind you? To your right side, I believe. I think I got that figure. This is, yes, it's a Pinhead. This is the Funko, I think they called them Savage World or whatever, but it's like the Motu Masters of the Universe mold. I have Pinhead, Jason, Freddy, but I don't have Leatherface. Pinhead, Jason, and Freddy, yeah, and I don't have Leatherface. Was there another one? Michael Myers. I have the Michael Myers. I have them all but Leatherface. Can't find a Leatherface. I mean, I could find it online. I've actually only ever looked at it at the last couple cons I've been to. I should just buy it online. Big Herm's in the house. What is up, my man? Brian says, thanks. Let me know when you watch Sin City 2. I may come over. Hell yeah. Okay, I'll let you know. Hammer Time Holshu says, Slither is so damn awesome. Yes, it is, my man. Evil Face Bad says, Robbie seems like everything with the word massacre in the title. I like that. Hell yeah. Jacob says that fat dude from Slither made my skin crawl when I first saw that. Bobby De La Ghetto's in the house says, in this one's humble opinion, Sin City 2 is not as good as Sin City 1. That is what I've heard. But I still want to watch it because they do adapt my favorite Sin City yarn, which is Dame to Kill For. But last time I read them, I actually still liked it, but Big Fat Kill keeps rising up as as a favorite. And I'm excited to revisit Family Values because I haven't revisited that one in a while. All right, it's time to talk about comics. Time to look at last week. That's basically this current week. But there were comic books that came out. I want to know, what did you read? What did you think? What was your favorite? In fact, what was your pick of the week? To the surprise of absolutely no one, my pick of the week was Aquaman Andromeda, issue number 1, written by Ram V, illustrated by Christian Ward, lettered by Aditya Bidikar from DC Black Label, outside of continuity. It is a sci-fi dark horror comic, heavily influenced, I think, by Sphere. Maybe not influenced by Sphere, but I'm picking up a lot of vibes from the Michael Crichton novel Sphere in this one. I love the artwork in this book. The artwork by Christian Ward sells it, and I keep talking about this, but when people really utilize this Prestige Plus format, it really freaking works. These books are operating right now at a really high concept, high talent type capacity, and this one is no exception. The artwork is stunning. The colors are great. The use of the colors and how they contrast and bounce against one another to provide a sense of style and depth, even though they're also showing this atmospheric oceanic depth through some murky stuff, but it still all comes across as clear, and so do the figures. This is a story about a craft of unknown origin that has seemed to land at the furthest point in the Pacific Ocean from occupied land. This is where they dump all of the spacecraft, all the space junk. So the artwork is fantastic at just telling the story and having these moments of grandiosity. Grandiosity? Is that a word? Maybe we made it up. But it also does involve Aquaman and Black Manta. The Black Manta characterization by Ram V is amazing. Some of this artwork is astonishing to me. It is beautiful, but the book is about a team of scientists that go to investigate this craft, seemingly powered by maybe like a black hole or some kind of crazy thing. And then it's also manifesting these different monsters that may be in like from the subconscious of the people that are investigating it. Hence the very much Sphere influence. But when the artwork needs to go big, it goes big. And when it needs to go small, it goes small. But it never loses sight of this absolutely amazing ethereal quality. And then you have Aquaman, who is not really seen much in this book. So he maintains this mythic quality. And it was absolutely amazing. I loved it. So it's grounded into the characters of this scientific team sent to investigate this anomaly at the bottom of the ocean. It has this claustrophobic kind of feel to it that is also accentuated by the artwork. Aditya Bidikar is the top-notch letterer in the industry today. It's a shame this dude doesn't keep getting nominated over and over for best letterer because he really should. And the artwork really works for me. Great color palette. You feel the cold, claustrophobic depth of the ocean in this book. I loved it. I thought it was amazing. It was my pick of the week. What did you think about Aquaman Andromeda? And what was your favorite comic book of last week? What was your pick of the week? Taking a look at the chat. Jacob says, it's the year of Ethan Hawke. Black Phone's going to be nuts. Joe Hill short story. Yeah, I'm excited to check that one out. I really do want to check that one out. Good trailer on that one. William says, pick of the week was Blade of the Immortal Deluxe Volume 6. Hell yeah. I don't think I've ever made it through that far, but I really liked what I read back in the day. Skip and Tosh says, really digging Aquaman Andromeda, almost done with the issue. Comic Book Therapy says, my pick was Belit and Valeria. OUG with pick of the week for me was Aquaman Andromeda. So beautiful with art and words. It was so good it felt like holding my breath while I was holding my breath while reading it. Hell yeah. Jacques says, love that Christian Ward cover. Yeah, me too. Brian says, yeah, the art is so gorgeous. Really great story too. By the way, one of our members of the PCP Army, I cannot remember who it was. If you're here, let me know that it was you. Someone met Rom V very recently and shared a pic in the PCP Army. And I just remembered we were supposed to do the whole like fucking show and tell. I only got one person, though, that sent me anything. If you want to participate in show and tell, we're doing a PCP Army show and tell. Send your stuff. We'll take care of it in a minute. If you want to show anything off, take a picture of your collection, whatever you want to show. Send it to popculturephilosophers@gmail.com and mark it for show and tell. So there you go. Anyway, so he met Rom, took a picture with him, and apparently brought up PCP, and Rom said, oh, Robbie, yeah, those guys are great, really fun. And then he said that one time he was noticing in the chats or in the comments, everybody was always giving me shit for always picking him as pick of the week, and here it's happened yet again. Rick says, I found myself waiting for these hardcovers for these prestige DC books, but it's so hard to resist. This and the upcoming Russell Allred Superman book looks so good. Yeah, I'm really pumped for that one. I don't think that one's going to be Prestige Plus, but it is like a 80-page book, so it will be a thicker book. I'm excited as shit for that. Mike Allred doing Superman, inspired by the Silver Age. You know we're going to have fun with that. Evil Face Bad says, pick of the week was Death Dealer. The situation with the city being on top of the spider was extremely imaginative and inventive. Loved it. Totally impressed. I'm hooked. Can't wait for the next issue. I didn't read the second one. I thought the first one was okay, and I didn't come back for the second one. Maybe that was my mistake. Mark McGrath says, The Lion and the Eagle #4. That was one I waited to be collected because I know I'll enjoy that sitting down reading it. Jacob says, my pick was Flashpoint Beyond 2. Gotta love Jeff Johns and a killer Batman. I have read #3. And I loved issue #3. Also, I have read Dark Crisis #2 now. When Josh says the action amps up, he ain't fucking kidding. It doesn't amp up on a cosmic scale yet, but that's just building. But there is some intense shit. Deathstroke and Teen Titans fans will definitely want to check out Dark Crisis issue #2. Holshoe says, he keeps putting out bangers. He will keep getting pick of the week. Don't blame Robbie. Exactly. Don't blame me. Blame Rom. Peace out, Brian. Have a good one, man. Hell yeah. All right, now it's time to look ahead at what's coming up in shops this week. It's kind of a light week for DC. So the DC sneak peek ain't going to be too long. But before we get to that, let's look at what's coming out overall. And out of everything we're listing here, let me know, what are you most excited for? Let's see. We got Wonder Woman 788, Wolverine 22, Fantastic Four 44. Did you hear that Dan Slott's off the title? We'll talk about that. Superman Son of Kal-El #12, X-Men Red #3, Moon Knight Black, White, and Blood #2, Batman Urban Legend 16, King Spawn #11, written by Sean Lewis, soon to be friend of the show, hopefully. Then we got Iron Man #20, Batgirls #7, Radiant Black 15, Spider-Gwen, Gwenverse #3, Ben Reilly Spider-Man #5, I believe that's the final issue. Star Wars Bounty Hunters 24, Jurassic League issue #2, I Am Batman #10, which I keep hearing good things about from my boy BG. Then we got Spider-Man 2099, Exodus #2, Captain America Sentinel of Liberty #1, that's the new Steve Rogers-centric book, Future State Gotham #14, What If Miles Morales #4, Walking Dead Deluxe 41, Savage Spider-Man #4, Iron Fist #4, Sandman Universe, Nightmare Country #3, Grimm #2, Marvels #11, 8 Billion Genies #2, DC Pride Tim Drake special that's reprinting that 3-part story from Batman Urban Legends. Power Rangers number 20, Slumber number 4, Farmhand number 18, Alice Ever After number 3, Do a Powerbomb number 1, New Fantastic Four Marvel Tales, which is a reprint of the Walt Simonson Art Adams book, Town Called Terror number 3, Naomi Season 2 number 4, Hulkling and Wiccan number 1. I think this is putting in print a digital first series. Norse Mythology Volume 3 number 5, Seven Sons number 1, a new comic by Jay Lee from Image, Cowboy Bebop number 4, Bunny Mask, The Hollow Inside number 2, Savage Dragon 262, A Calculated Man number 1 from Aftershock, West of Sundown number 3, Blood Syndicate Season 1 number 2, Immortal Red Sonja number 3, The Sumerian Hour of the Dragon number 4, Undiscovered Country Destiny Man Special number 1, Faithless Volume 3 number 5, Angel number 6, G.I. Joe, Real American Hero, Saturday Morning Adventures number 4, believe that's the final issue, Jennifer Blood number 9, We Ride Titans number 4, Tales from Harrow County, Lost Ones number 2, The Killock, The Artisan Wraith number 4, Street Fighter 2022 Swimsuit Special, 2000 AD 2286, Bill and Ted, Roll the Dice number 1, Star Trek The Mirror War, Cisco number 1, The Ocean Will Take Us number 3, Manor Black, Fire in the Blood number 3, Albatross, Exploding Funny Books number 1, Endangered number 1, and The Death of Elvira, which I already got because I joined the Kickstarter on that. What are you most looking forward to out of all the books coming out? For me, Daniel Warren Johnson, Do a Powerbomb number 1. Very excited to see what my dude has to do. As y'all tell us what you are most excited for coming out in shops this week, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, DC Sneak Peek, Assault on Precinct 13, and Image in the 90s, here on Rockin Robbie Live.
Yeah. Please tell me that I can't, that I won't, that I fail, that I'll never make it out, yeah. Please tell me all the bad, never good, fill my head full of every single doubt, yeah. Please say any negative thoughts, I pop off when I hear people say I cannot. I get off to the thought of proving everyone wrong, I won't stop to the top, so you better back off and get lost. I'ma stay loud, stay proud, never running out, never heading south. I'll be spreading out, call it word of mouth, can't put me down, I'll be getting loud. You can have it douse, not what I'm about, have your fucking cloud, it be raining now, I keep making sound, go another round, bitch I'm legend bound, can't stop me now. You don't wanna fuck with me, a slow burn like a disease. Just tell me that I can and I'll show you things that you couldn't believe. Just tell me that I can. 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 Cause I just wanna hear it out your mouth, yeah. Give me fuel, it's a tool that I use to go ahead and run my fucking mouth, yeah. I take shots, I take loss, I make shots, I miss lots. That's how you get big box, you get yachts, you swing lots and pop off a big shot. I ain't done chasing, got big dreams, bigger things, impatient. Who's at the top think they need replacement? Who's at the top think I'm gonna erase them? Face it, I don't give up quick, I don't give up shit, I won't give up this. Cause I know that I want it, know that I'm on it, I'll make it, I promise. You don't wanna fuck with me, a slow burn like a disease. Just tell me that I can and I'll show you things that you couldn't believe. Just tell me that I can. Just tell me that I can. Just tell me that I can. Just tell me that I can.
Hey everyone, it's Rex over at Dynamic Forces. Join us on Monday night on The Experience from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. Eastern. There'll be great comic collectibles, and you'll have me, my buddy Robbie, and my buddy John. Okay, Robbie knows the comics, I sell the comics, and John just takes the comics all the way home. Anyway, join us on Monday night. We'll see you there.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Pop Culture Philosophers. In fact, welcome back to Rockin Robbie Live. We've been having a great old time tonight already, chatting about Stranger Things, Obi-Wan, Miss Marvel, a little bit of news stuff. We talked about our favorite comic books of last week. We just looked ahead at what was coming up in shops this week, and I asked everybody, what are you most excited for? I see those replies coming in. I'm going to be reading those in just a second. But first of all, I will say follow Pop Culture Philosophers on Facebook and on Instagram. If you're on Facebook, join the PCP Army, the official Pop Culture Philosophers Facebook group. You can follow me on Twitter at the Rockin Robbie. You can check out popculturephilosophers.com for podcasts and a whole lot more. And you can support the channel at patreon.com/PCP, like these fine PCP patrons right there. We really do appreciate it all. And I want to say special shout outs to Nick, Comic Culture. Thank you so much for your continued support as a homie, as a friend, and of course, as a PCP patron. You can also support with the Super Chat tonight, which will trigger a musical video. However, all the support we need is a like, a share, a subscribe, just participating in the chat, all of that stuff and more. What do we have coming up here at at Pop Culture Philosophers? We got Dr. Sleep. That's right. PCP movie night tomorrow night, 8 p.m. Central Time. It's Crew's choice, and it's Manny's pick, and he picked Dr. Sleep. Wednesday night at 8 p.m. Central Time, join me and the Bad Batch as we review and discuss Episode 2 of Miss Marvel. I know this thumbnail says Episode 1, but we will take care of that. Then, of course, a Thursday night at 7 p.m. Central Time, we got a conversation with Sean Lewis talking about his upcoming book with Hayden Sherman, Above Snakes, but he is also the writer on King Spawn and The Scorched. So very excited to welcome Sean to the channel. And Dylan's Horror Show with a Hammer classic, Horror Express. I've never seen that one, so I'm excited. That will be on Saturday night. We now pause for station identification. All right, in this next bit for Rockin' Robbie, though, we do have the DC sneak peek. We got Assault on Precinct 13 movie review, and we have Image in the 90s. But when we last discussed something, I asked you to tell me what you are most excited for coming up in shops this week. So let's see what everybody says. Rick says, excited for Do a Powerbomb, A Town Called Terror, Pentagram of Horror, Norse Mythology, and Jurassic League. Mike says, anything with Daniel Warren Johnson's name on it is always something to look forward to, so do a Powerbomb. Fable says, do a powerbomb and Bill and Ted. Hell yeah. OUG says, really enjoying Blood Syndicate, so mostly looking forward to that one. Evil Face Bad says, Wolverine and that Sumerian Conan forever. Dominic is most excited for Savage Dragon. It's been 5 months since the last issue. Powerbomb is a close second for anticipation. Chill Out Man's in the house says, agree, do a Powerbomb and Bill and Ted. Yeah, I hope that Bill and Ted book is good. It's from Opus. They're the ones that did that, like, Disturbed book. I think they did one with Evanescence. Jacob says, I'm pumped for Nightmare Country number 3 and Bone Orchard, The Passageway, the OGN from Lemire and Sorrentino. That is out this week. I forgot about that. Hell yeah. Jorm's excited for Alice Ever After, Grimm, A Town Called Terror, Slumber, West of Sundown, Death of Elvira, Nightmare Country, Jurassic League, and Immortal Red Sonja. Hell yeah. We got Aaron in the house. What is up, Aaron? Evil Face Bat says, I have to catch up on the Bat, but make no mistake, he's my dude. I still have been getting all of his titles like Batman and Detective Comics, but there is in the stack waiting on me. I call it the Bat stack. That's nice. He would, or at least Robin would too. I'll tell you this. So I did kind of brag a little bit and say I'd read Flashpoint Beyond number 3 and loved it. Read Dark Crisis number 2 and really liked it. And then I will also say that I have read Chip Zdarsky's first issue of Batman, and I really enjoy it. I don't think there's any spec hype that's going to build on it, but he is using classic villains in interesting ways, and it is a Batman and Robin story. And the artwork by Jorge Jimenez has leveled up again, y'all. Leveled up again. The story was great. The artwork, it all had a great pace, but it also felt dense and worth it. I fucking loved it. Jorge Jimenez's artwork keeps getting fucking better, y'all. Holy shit. Y'all wait. It's like, I guess we just ordered it, so it would have been, FOC just passed, I should say. So that's like, 4 or 5 weeks out, something like that. It's so fucking good, y'all. Chip's first issue of Batman is great. Jorge's artwork has leveled up. I'm telling you. Mark's looking forward to Bunny Mask and the Kill Lock. Kill Lock is, I'm loving it. Mike says Opus is doing the Frazetta Death Dealer book as well. That's right. Marco says, late to the show, but Aquaman Andromeda was fire. Ron V is the Hitchcock of comics. High praise. Probably very much deserved. OUG says, how does Jorge Jimenez level up? Isn't he already peak? You would think so, but he's not because he leveled up. Trust me, it's fucking dope. It's so good. It is so good. So good. It's phenomenal, actually. And the story's good too. And they do something in it. I'm not going to say anything. They do something in it that I think people are going to try to make a big deal out of, but it's not. But it was a really solid first issue of a run. And it utilizes classic villains in interesting ways. And I like that. And you're right, OUG. We also got Rom V on Detective coming soon. And so the Bat books are about to be super strong. What a 1-2 punch. Chip and Jorge and Rom and Raphael. Azar, what is up? Station. From Malaysia, stuck in the morning blues traffic. Well, glad to keep you company while you're stuck in traffic in Malaysia. Thank you for joining us, bro. All right, y'all. DC's got books out this week. I read them. I only read 3. So this is going to be the fastest DC sneak peek I think we've ever done. But it's time for it. Let's do it. First up, we're going to go Blood Syndicate. So there were some other DC books out this week, but I just chose not to read them. And I am officially done with Superman Son of Kal-El. I have not been enjoying it, so I'm just going to drop it. Y'all keep me up to date. But Blood Syndicate issue number 2 is written by Jeffrey Thorne with penciling by Chris Cross, inking by Juan Castro, and I think Will Quintana on the artwork. I mean, on the coloring. I really liked the second issue. I thought the first issue was pretty solid to establish a foundation for a book, and it really goes in interesting ways in the second issue. I liked it. You know, a lot of the more recent milestone books I haven't really been that into. I thought Duo #1 was okay, but I thought Blood Syndicate showed some promise, and it develops out in issue #2. I liked this a lot. It has this kind of like old school kind of vibe to it, but it also still feels new and fresh, I guess. But overall, I did like it. I thought it was solid. I liked all three of these DC books that I read this week. The second one I read was Jurassic League, issue #2. I thought this one leveled up from issue #1. Issue #1's all right. The basic premise is this. It's the Justice League, but they're dinosaurs. So it's Super Sore and Bat Sore, right? Okay, cool. This book's great. This is a book that kids would like. And it's prime for an action figure line. So how about this? Action figure line. Keep making this comic. Toy, or Ari said toy line, animated series, maybe a movie or something. This could be something very interesting to get young kids into comics. That being said, Juan Gideon's artwork is fantastic. It's got Daniel Warren Johnson's name in it, but it is pretty much Juan Gideon's whole kind of thing, but it has got that kind of Johnson energy. This book was awesome. It's a dumb concept. Let go of that. This is the toy line. This is prime. This is how you can get kids into comics. Make this a multimedia fucking thing. I think it would work. I can imagine 8-year-old boys and girls being into dinosaurs. Like, dinosaurs have never stopped being cool, and neither have the Justice League. So there you go. And the last one I read in my favorite DC book of the week was Nightmare Country, issue #3, from James Tynion, Lissandro Estrin, and Francisco Francavilla. Does the dreaming sequence here. I loved it. I think this book has really ramped up its mystery. It reveals enough and then opens up more mysteries as it goes. It does have this dark, fantastical horror kind of vibe to it. It's starting to coalesce the story together. It's starting to also introduce new characters and new elements and new conflicts, new dangers. And it's doing it in a very interesting, creepy way. And Esterin's artwork is top frickin' notch in this book. And the coloring, too. Holy cow. And Francisco's little part is absolutely amazing. So I only read 3 DC books, but I liked them. I thought Blood Syndicate was a great follow-up to the first issue, delivering on the promise of promise. And then we got Jurassic League, issue #2. Somebody needs to make this a toy line and an animated series stat and keep this book going. And Nightmare Country, really diving deep, really liking this one. All these books improving from their previous issues, which were already good. That was your DC sneak peek. So there you go. Merchandising. We put the comics name on everything. We got a Mel Brooks podcast that we've already recorded. You can check that out over at patreon.com/PCP for the unedited, unaltered video version before the edited audio version is released. Nightmare Country's good. Rick says they really do get the best artists to do the dreaming sequences. Absolutely. Marco says, Jurassic League Legos. It's like the classic Street Sharks DC Dino version. Enjoyed the hell out of it. Hell yeah, Marco. Mike says, do you need to read all of Sandman to read Nightmare Country? No, you don't have to read any of it, but it would be helpful to at least read Volume 2, not Dream Country, but Doll's House. I think it would be helpful to read the Doll's House before you read this, because then you would know who the Corinthian is, who is one of the characters, major figures in this story. So I would recommend that first as a preamble. But the other joy about the Sandman is it is beautiful to read it from start to finish, but you can also read each individual volume on its own. So even if you haven't read the first one, you can read that one, but I would recommend reading Doll's House, but it would still work on its own, I think. Evil Face Bad says, I don't know, Robbie. JLA dinosaurs. I'd rather save the money for their actual canon books, it does look interesting. I get what you're saying. Me personally, I would rather spend my money on just good comics with great artwork, regardless of whether they're canon or not. But that's just me. But I understand the affinity for the DC continuity because I'm a sucker for it. That being said, the strength of Jurassic League could be an appeal to young kids. Hey, and we got a super chat from my man Bullseye Bob. Says, the pints on me, Robbie. Cheers. Well, cheers to you, my man. This one's for you. Let me tell you about this little man I know. His name is Hellboy. He was sent to the earth some long time ago to save it or destroy. Brought to this earth by Rasputin, son of a demon and a nun who had sex with the demon, but was raised by Professor Broom. Now he fights evil and monsters. Shit. Now he fights with a man who's a fish named Abe. Now he fights with a fire starter named Liz and an ectoplasmic mess named BBLD. Thank you so much, Bob, for the super chat. And everybody be sure to check out Bullseye Bob and Bueller tomorrow morning on Comics with Bueller for episode 152 of the all-new, all-different, brand-new, spanking everything Coffee and Comic Show. Very excited for it to be returning, Bob. Even if it's just for an episode or two. Just very excited. Just going to say that. Somebody had asked me, there it is. Rick says, do you need to read the preceding Batman issues before 125? No. You can start fresh with the Zdarsky issue. Like I said, y'all, if you're just joining us, I have read the first issue of Zdarsky and Jimenez on Batman, and I loved it. It's a great jumping on point. And I agree, Joram. Francisco Francavilla on Afterlife with Archie was so good. Absolutely. Two Gun Pedro, pew pew, says finally home and settled in. Got a cold one and a plate of food. Carry on, Robbie. Station, everyone. Station you, my man. When I get done with this, man, I got a plate of pizza rolls going to be waiting for me, man. I guess in the next break, I got to get the oven preheated. Because pizza rolls in the oven. Oh, the air fryer. I got the air fryer. But I don't want to clean the air fryer. Yeah. Air fryer's dope. Sometimes I'm just like, I don't really want to clean it. I mostly use it now for like steaks and chicken wings. Yeah, steaks. They work. Empire Comics in the house. What up, Robbie? What up, PCP Army? What up, Empire Comics? How are you doing now? And now we will all have the Hellboy song in our heads for at least 2 days. I'm glad to hear it. I've had songs stuck in my head. So everybody's going crazy for that Kate Bush song. from Stranger Things. That was stuck in my head when I watched that episode on Friday. And it was in my head all day. And then that evening, I watched Assault on Precinct 13. And then that got stuck in my head. The bum ba da da dum, bum da 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 dum, bum ba da dum, bum ba da da dum, bum ba da da dum, dum ba da da dum, bum ba dum. Dum ba da 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 dum dum da dum ba da dum ba da 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 dum ba da 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 bum ba da da dum bum bum ba dum ba da dum ba da da dum bum bum ba dum ba da 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 dum bum bum ba da na 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 dum bum bum ba da na 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 ma na 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 ma na 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 bum bum dum do 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 do. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Is Robbie high? Well, that's up for you to decide. That was just, the spirit moves, man. And you go where you go. Anyway. Batman 125 will have a lot of covers. Yes, it has a lot of fucking covers. When they do that to make us, the retailers, order a shit ton more. And it works because we know some people are going to want certain covers and all the other covers, and it works. But cover A is usually what I go for. There are some cool covers for it, though, and some decent incentives. Brats are great in the air fryer. I've never tried that. I really need to. You know what they say. Best pizza is a poor man's pizza. Ingredients is bread and oven and one thick slice of government cheese. I think we can do better than that. The next martial arts film is next week, and it will be Tai Chi Master. We're alternating weeks between John Carpenter and Kung Fu movies. Speaking of John Carpenter, let's get into it. So I watched this week. So now that I own every single John Carpenter film, I want to go through them chronologically. So every other week here on Rockin Robbie Live, we're going to be going through the filmography of John Carpenter directed films chronologically. A couple weeks ago, we did Dark Star. So tonight, it's time to talk about Assault on Precinct 13. Assault on Precinct 13 is pretty much a damn near masterpiece of high-tension action films from the 70s. This movie is awesome, and it's got it all. I haven't seen this movie. You've heard this a lot lately, but I haven't seen this movie in probably like 20 years. Like in the early 2000s, my early 20s, when I'm like really focusing in on film and trying to watch the catalog of these directors. This movie blew me away as if it was the first time I'd ever seen it. First of all, you got this dude. He is first night on the job as a lieutenant. He's a police officer, highway patrol, and his first night of the job, he gets reassigned to go and stay at this police precinct 9 in like Zone 13 or something, but the movie's called Assault on Precinct 13, whatever. We'll skip that bit of incongruity. But he is tasked with just basically watching this police precinct for this final night. They've already moved everything over. They're just waiting for the phone and the utilities to be cut off. So there's like a skeleton crew there. And then there is this crook and these other criminals that are being transferred across state lines by this I don't know what you call them, but a corrections officer or something like that. And then you have this gang. And this gang is patrolling around, just terrorizing people, because recently a few of them had been gunned down by the police. And so they build you into this, and they give all the exposition through like news reports and stuff, so it never takes away from this like dramatic feel, vibe, flow, and tension that's building. But they're just going around, pointing guns at people, terrorizing this poor fucking ice cream man. They're like following him around, right? Then we got this dad and his little girl. And the girl goes, and in one of those moments where the gang has gone away. She shows up to the ice cream truck. She gets an ice cream cone. She comes back because some topping was missing or something. She winds up getting killed. So the gang comes back, kill the ice cream man, kill the little girl, and dip out. Then the father of the little girl, who was in a payphone, comes in, sees the carnage, the aftermath. He goes and chases this gang, kills the dude who killed his daughter, and then they start chasing him, and he runs to this police precinct that is completely, severely understaffed. And now this gang is amassing their forces, and in retaliation for the murder of their fellow gang warlord, as well as retaliation for the police killings that happened the night before, they surround this fucking place. Meanwhile, this bus bringing these prisoners across state lines, one of them gets deathly sick. They have to stop at this police precinct, so a couple of these dudes are in there, and then like the attack happens. They kill like most of the police officers. They kill a couple of the criminals, and it's like 2 criminals, 1 police officer, and I think 2 administrative women, and then the crazy dude, or not the crazy dude, but anyway. And then, so the main dude, the lieutenant, has to let these criminals out to help him. And he has to give them guns. And then it's awesome. Like, this dude is like a stone cold killer on death row, but he's got this kind of like, I don't know, he's got a little bit of a compassion and a heroic streak in him that is separate from some of the other criminals that you see. And he winds up kind of forming this bond with the lieutenant. Then we got this main chick. So one of them is Nancy Loomis. And she's the administrative one. She dies early on. Now, this woman, I think she may have been an officer because she delivers this very dry performance, but it's very intense, and it lures you in. And when she has to be, she is a badass. And she develops this interesting kind of camaraderie and understanding with her main criminal, who's always looking for a smoke, and she's the one to give it to him. You know what I'm saying? But by the way, she's super badass. Everybody is in this movie. The gang is sieging this precinct, and they're coming in through the windows, and it's so amazing. It wears its influences on its sleeve. But overall, I think this movie is amazing. I think it is one of the best action films of the 70s. It's one of the best exploitation films of the 70s, if you want to look at it that way. It's got a brilliant cast. It is John Carpenter doing his second movie, but really his first real movie, because Dark Star was like a student film, and it was put together over a series of filmings and a whole lot of time. This one was done in like 20-something days, and this was his first movie he had to complete on a schedule with a limited budget. It was still independently financed, so it is an independent film. And John Carpenter, as usual, to save money, did the score himself. And I just, serenaded y'all for a while. Bum, 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 ba-dum, ba-da-dum. This is one of his best scores. It is top-notch. It is amazing. This movie is amazing. Straight up. It is Rio Bravo meets Night of the Living Dead by way of John Carpenter. I'm giving this a 4.5. Ya digs. So there's my copy, the Scream Factory edition of it, which of course does have the reversible cover. So that's the new cover that they did, which is cool. But I always like to flip it around to the original movie poster art. This movie's great. In fact, it's a 4.5, but it's a high point on a 4.5. It's like a 4.69, dude. You know what I'm saying? If you've never seen this movie, you got to check it out. Can you find it streaming anywhere? That's a good question that I just thought to myself. Let's see. They did remake it with Lawrence Fishburne and Ethan Hawke. Now, I have never seen that remake. So if you've seen the remake, let me know if it's any good. But I never saw it because I just loved this one so much. You can watch it for free on Tubi. It's on Amazon Video as part of the Showtime package. So there you go. But it's for free on Tubi. Assault on Precinct 13. This movie is baller. It's awesome. I am so excited to be going through the John Carpenter movie collection. in chronological order for the first time in my life, going through these movies in the order. So seeing where he went from Dark Star in 74 to 1976 to this, and his next movie is technically Halloween, is his next released movie. But he actually filmed a movie before that that was released the month after Halloween, which is Someone's Watching Me, which was a made-for-TV movie, which I have never seen. And so since the point of this is to see his work evolve, I'm going to go in 2 weeks. Is that Heroes Con weekend? Anyway, next week, Kung Fu movie, Tai Chi Master. The next show after that, we're doing Someone's Watching Me, because that's the movie he filmed right before he filmed Halloween. So a lot of that, he said, influenced Halloween. I've never seen it, so I'm really excited. But Assault on Precinct 13 is amazing. Like I said, it's a high point of 4.5. I should give this a 5. I give it a 5. I retroactively give this a fucking 5. Let me start that again. Assault on Precinct 13. Fantastic movie. I give it 5 you digs. What do you give it out there? If you've seen the film, what do you think? How many you digs do you give it out of 5? And I know there are rumors that the you dig has gone down in currency value. I just want you all to know that that's bullshit. Chill's out. Gotta go. See you later. Twitch is in the house talking shit about the Rangers. Not really talking shit. Offering condolences. So that's nice. I really thought the Rangers had it for a second there. Bobby says, I've never seen this film. I'm going to have to check it out. This one's right up my proverbial alley. 100%. It is straight up Rio Bravo meets Night of the Living Dead. The gang is like the zombies. They're in there. Rio Bravo. In fact, John Carpenter was the editor of the film, and the pseudonym he uses for that is the name of the John Wayne character from Rio Bravo. Of course, he's a big Howard Hawks. It's Howard Hawks. Yes, not Hughes. Howard Hughes, Howard Hawks. Always get those two confused. It's Howard Hawks because he did The Thing. Is it just me, or does the badass chick's lady's outfit look like Velma from Scooby-Doo? The criminal does live by a code. The movie is fantastic, though. I'm loving going through these John Carpenter movies, y'all. All right, now I got some more comments down here. Darkside Is says, remake was good as well. Okay. Lawrence Fishburne, Ethan Hawke. I'm excited to check it out, especially now that I've revisited. Where the fuck did I put it? Especially now that I've revisited Assault. Such a great movie. And the Scream Factory Blu-ray release, which I think is still readily available, not expensive at all, is worth it. The picture quality looks great. There is one scene when they're like in the jail cell area and they're having to shoot people that are coming through the door where it gets super grainy because apparently like something must have happened with the negative there or whatever. But it is not a restoration of it either. But it's actually, it looks really good. Because I remember watching this back in the day and it didn't look very good. It looked very grainy, but that looked amazing. It's got such a great sense of atmosphere. And everything that makes John Carpenter is present here. Like in Dark Star, you could piece some of it together, but obviously that was a different thing. But that was still a good, solid film. And now this one, holy shit. Like, it's so fucking good. And it's actually making a statement on certain things. Like, I think it's making a statement with, like, class and race, right? Because you got a black lieutenant. They intentionally make sure you know he's black. But, like, so there's that. And you got a black and a white criminal. And you got a white woman. But they're working together. Like, this isn't something formulated to appeal to a mass audience. This is an honest reflection of the fucking world, right? And they get into the idea of, like, it's not just about race and class. It's about, like, other kind of judgments you make. Like, oh, you're a criminal. You're in jail, right? You're on death row. So, but you got my back. Like, You're my brother. You're my sister. When the chips fall down, you're there, right? So there is that there. And another interesting thing, and I would love, if I ever met John Carpenter, I would ask him this. I don't know if he would, this dude's had a long ass career, but they mention how the gangs are multiracial, and that's an interesting concept there. And there's a lot there to unpack if you really wanted to, but just also as a great exploitation film of the 70s, a badass action film. It's not balls to the wall with action scenes and shit, but it is incredibly tense, and those scenes work. The siege aspect, holy shit, y'all. This movie's awesome. Two Gun says, only seen the remake, we'll have to check out the original. Weekend after next is Heroes Con, baby. So after Heroes Con, we're probably going to be off for after next week, we're probably going to be off for 2 to 3 weeks maybe. We'll see. But we're going to get to someone's watching me. What's up, Pete? Hey, what's up, BJ? Yo, Robbie, what comics will you like to be rewritten again like remakes? Like remade comics? I don't like the idea of remaking comics. How about reprinting the originals? Keeping the originals in print. That's what I like. Bob says, Precinct 13 is amazing. Another one of those that has been remade in other countries and genres. For me, it's a solid 4.5. Missing Link says he gives it 4 out of 5 in ya digs, but a 4.5 out of backlogs. Jacob says the remake was a little different. Lawrence Fishburne was a beast in it. He was the bad guy who ends up helping the cops inside the precinct. That's what it seemed like to me, what I remembered. I thought Ethan Hawke was the cop in that one, if I remembered right. Billy says, saw Top Gun Maverick this weekend. It gets 10 ya digs. I'm excited to check that one out. And I really don't like Top Gun, but I'm excited to check this one out. BJ says, I give it 3 out of 5 ya digs. Evil Face Bad says, Robbie, I now bless you with the name Dr. Horny Fingers. All right, I like that. Badass chick ladies like Barbara in the remake of Night of the Living Dead. Yeah, the remake. You're right. Because in the original, she just fucking freaks out the whole goddamn movie. I haven't been watching Billions. A black sheriff? Why not? It worked in Blazing Saddles. Once again, I will lead everybody to patreon.com/PCP to check out the video unedited version of our Mel Brooks podcast, because I haven't even put it together yet. So I don't know when the podcast is going to drop, but since HeroCon is vastly approaching, it needs to be soon. Well, that's the thing, is the gangs are multiracial, and in order to stand up to their assault, they have to go multiracial. But it's not just about race. It's about class and other things. It's about the criminals, and it's about administrative, and it's about the officers. Basically what I'm going to say is a movie that is still very relevant today, that says a lot without trying. It is trying to say, they didn't have to try too hard. It's all done in subtext. It's all done in theory. It's all there, and it's all understandable. Movies used to work differently. And it's also a really tight, solid 90 fucking minutes, pretty much. John Hammertime Holshoe is breaking the kayfabe and says, ironically, Dr. Hornyfingers was the name of Robbie's band in middle school. It was. We were a techno-acoustic band. I was really into Jars of Clay, and I was trying to get that going. Robbie, which comic story would you like to see as an animated film? My pick would be JLA Avengers team up and then Spider-Man Superman team up. JLA Avengers would be really dope as an animated film, if it would ever happen. I highly doubt that, but that would be really dope. One, I would like to see New Gods. I would love to see somebody take Jack Kirby's entire Fourth World saga. Not saying go into all the nitty gritty with the Forever People and the fucking Mr. Miracle, all the individual stories, but basically tell the epic in a big action-packed animated film, maybe a two-part animated film, but in the very incredibly dynamic style of Kirby's artwork. That's what I would like to see. Big Verno's in the house. Vern, you still down for Dr. Sleep? I know I surprised you with it yesterday. If you got to bow out, just let me know, man. No hard feelings. I want Pride of Baghdad as an animated movie, says Twitch. Dr. Horny Fingers as a band sounds like a punk and funk fusion. Unfortunately, OUG, that's just not what I was into it, at the time. I was really into Jars of Clay. I was trying to do techno acoustic. That's not the name of my band in high school. The name of my band in high school was called Limit. And it was techno acoustic, and it was a Christian band. I don't want to like lie about aspects of my past that maybe I'm slightly proud of, but not completely. But we did record an EP. We performed at a few lock-ins at churches. We were called Limit. We had a few songs. We had a song called Whisper for a Savior. We had a song called Black Hole Pyramids. That was me. I wrote that one. We had a song called World. I wrote that one, loved it. And we had a song called After the Prayer, written by my homie and compatriot in the band, Josh. And actually, for the Basement Show, if you go and find the Basement Show, I think we still got our shit up on Reverb Nation or some shit. But if you listen to the song, and it's on YouTube, you can actually search it. The Basement Show, What It Takes. The dude who's doing the acoustic guitar and the singing on that track with me and my buddy Kevin when we were spitting, he is the guy that I was in that band with, Limit. It was just me and him. I played boards. He played guitar. And he wrote a really good song called After the Prayer. But anyway, we did that song together called What It Takes, which I thought was one of my favorite songs. But anyway. So you were like DC talk, but confusing. There was a man from the desert with naps in his head. The sand that he walked was also his bed. Words that he spoke made the people assume there wasn't too much left in the upper room. With skins on his back and hair on his face, they thought he was strange by the locusts he ate. You see, the Pharisees tripped when they heard him speak, till the king took the head of this Jesus free. Thank you so much for the super chat, Larry. We really do appreciate it. Larry says, station all love, man. Started this shit back in 98 when I lit me a J and said, hey, it's great. It was about 10 plates with the munchies at 8. Now smoking weed, crate after crate. My name is Contact the Great. What the fuck did I say? It's a pipe way. That's the trail that we blaze every fucking day. Did you say every fucking day? I said every fucking day on the Contact Parade. Two shots of Jaeger as it burns in my chest. Shotgun and sparks, time to earn with the best. Spark up a bowl as you learn with the rest. People start rocking, I'm concerned nonetheless. Full, do you realize what the fuck I'm saying? And how important is the vibe I'm laying? Death's getting closer, ain't got time for playing. And on that day I'm gonna go celebrate and pray and pray and pray and pray and pray. I don't need a degree in biology, psychology, or astronomy to ponder, see, so follow me, because it's hard to see half-heartedly. Possibly you're not fond of me, and if you think I give a shit, you think retardedly. You deposit G's and I respond to please. Spit this contactology. There's just no use in arguing or wondering who's wandering. If we get lost despondently, far beyond our boundaries, I'm losing faith in democracy. So obviously something's wrong with me, but we give you the shit that you long to see. Hold up, motherfucker, Robbie B. Thank you for the super chat, Larry. We really do appreciate it. That keeps the channel going. We really do appreciate the support from everybody out there. Big Llama Show's in the house. What is up? At least it wasn't death metal Christian. That's even more confusing. I mean, it works. It works. Robbie was a founding member to POD. No, I wasn't. Actually, I went to a festival one time to see Everlast, Everclear, Eve 6, and a few others. Dynamite Hack was there. Nickelback was there. That was super early. My buddy loved them, and I was like, who is this? Cowboy Mouth was there. But the big headliner was POD, and we all left, like, during POD. But we left while they were doing, we are the youth of the nation. Just found out my wife is in a Discord server for fanfics. Well, she can never give you shit about the Hellboy song again, bro. Hell yeah. Dang, that's awesome. Why would people think if they knew that I'm a cheese freak still? Yeah, I do too, man. Excuse me. So I did that was the John the Baptist bit. What was the other one? I saw a man with a tat on his big fat belly. It wiggled around like Malame jelly. It took me a while to catch what it said, cause I had to match the rhythm of his belly with my head. Jesus saves is what it raves in the typical tattoo green. He stood on a box in the middle of the city and he claimed he had a dream. What will people think when they hear that I'm a Jesus freak? What will people do when they find out it's true? I don't really care if they label me a Jesus freak. There ain't no disguising the truth. I love me some goddamn DC talk, man. Don't even get me fucking started. I just said I love me some goddamn DC talk. I don't know if they're quite damned. Anyway, moving on. You know, we've been on this Marvel in the 80s kick for so long, but it's time to go back and revisit because it's the 30th anniversary of Image Comics, and don't think that I forgot about it. We've already covered Savage Dragon. We've already covered Cyberforce, and now I cannot let slide my, at the time, favorite Image artist, Jim Lee. It's time for Image in the 90s. And we're talking about Wildcats' #1 covert action team. When I was a kid, I thought this shit was the coolest stuff on the racks. Looking at it as an adult, the first thing I think of is, what the fuck is a covert action team? Doesn't make sense. That being said, loved this comic book. I loved the comic book at first. Then Alan Moore came in and did some stuff. I've never really gotten into that, but I have all those issues, so I'm excited to dive in and unpack those at some point. But then I got back into the title when Joe Casey came on for Volume 2 after Scott Lobdell did like 6 issues or something, and I just fell in love with that title. Went back, made sure I had all my original issues, tried to start piecing together collections, and then Wildcats 3.0 was next level shit back in the day. But how did it all start? How did it all start? It all started with a book co-created by Jim Lee and Brandon Choi, written and penciled by Jim Lee, written by Brandon Choi, who Ed from Cartoonist Kayfabe always says is the luckiest man in comics. Then we got inking by Scott Williams, lettering by Mike Heisler, coloring by Joe Rosas, and edited by Ruth Grice. Color separator, Digital Chameleon. So it starts off with this weird kind of flashback. We get introduced to Void and some kind of timey-wimey thing. There is some weird shit going on here in this book where it starts out and it says it's in the past. Then it says it's in the future. And this is introducing Lynch, who is going to be the leader of like Gen 13, part of like Team 7 and all that shit, right? And then it cuts to the present. Okay? And the present is 1990. and we meet Jacob Marlowe, and he's just a bum, homeless guy, laying out there drunk, sleeping in alleyways. Some dudes come to give him some shit, kick his ass, because that's what you did back in the day. Maybe they were trying to film some tape for Bum Fighting Volume 25 or some shit. But he is saved by Void, who says, "You are, Lord Imp, very important to what is going to happen for the future of this world." And then it cuts to today, 1992. What? Hold on. Rewind. Rewind. So we start in the past. We go to the future. We go to the present, which is 1990. Then we go to today, which is 1992. Okay, whatever. So Void shows up. She takes Jacob, says, "You have a destiny to fulfill." And then we cut to the present. Bam. There's the present. He's still awakening in the alley from a long night, but they clean him up. He is now the CEO of the Marlowe Corporation, Foundation, whatever it is. Void's telling him all this cryptic-ass shit. This whole book is filled with cryptic-ass shit, y'all. It really is. I don't know how this works as a first issue. I don't know if it really does. But it does introduce all of the characters, and it vaguely introduces the concepts, but it's not really clear. And I think when I was a kid, I remember loving this book and loving the artwork, and I still do. But I was rather confused. Still today, reading this as a first issue, I know what's coming up. I know this war about the Daemonites and the Cherubim, and I know about the Coda. You don't know any of that shit here. You don't even know how Maul's powers work. They just assume that you fucking do. I guess they assume, like Kayfabe says, that you read all the wizard articles or whatever. So Jacob is running this corporation, which is running this team. And Void is the heart of this. She's a teleporter. We're going to find out more about her, but she's had this vision where she is destroyed and ended, and they have to find these special chosen ones or some shit. So they have been assembling a team to fight this war that we don't even really get introduced to. Great double page splash here. We're introduced to Spartan, Warblade, and Maul on this page. So efficient in introducing characters, completely lacking in introducing concept. Then we switch to the villains, the Cabal. This dude, Pike, has a mask just like Grifter. Will that be important? I don't know. But I thought that the leader of the Cabal was the coolest fucking dude out there, had a cool design, a great action figure. His name is Hellspawn, and that is one of my favorite Jim Lee designs for a villain. I fucking love it. I still today look at this and I love it. Turns out they have a mole in the government, which is going to help them win. I'm telling y'all, it is incredibly vague as shit about what is actually going on in this first issue. But you got these bad guys called the Cabal, and to show that they're bad, they kill this dude who is apparently a mole for Jacob Marlowe. Then we get this interesting... What did I... Oh, there. The next page, we get introduced to... Well, there's this concept that Jacob's kind of making these deals with these other organizations. It's, like I said, it's very unclear. But then we get the introduction to Grifter. Grifter is from another faction who is trying to hunt down these special gifted ones or some shit. So this search leads him to a strip club where we get a nice centerfold spread out of Voodoo. So we're now introduced to Voodoo, who is on stage performing, and these other people show up. One of them is this tall Amazonian type woman that's where we start learning about the Coda and all that kind of shit. So they're in there to find Voodoo because she is like some kind of special powered chosen one or something. So they interrupt her performance. They're not sex positive. And she can see that they're monsters. And a fight breaks out, and Grifter puts on his mask, and now Cole Cash is Grifter, and it's time to get into some badass artwork. Right there, Grifter doing his best John Woo, as Jim Ruggs said, and he's just blowing people away. We got an appearance from the news lady from Spawn, who appeared in a lot of these Image books back in the day. But Grifter's just tearing people apart, blowing people away. Great action sequence here in the middle of the strip club. Voodoo doesn't know what's going on. Grifter's there to save her. And then in come the Wildcats The Wildcats pinpoint her location. So all three factions, you got Grifter acting independently but in concert with someone else. You got the Jacob Marlowe and the Wildcats, and you got the Cabal sending these people, or is it the Coda? What's going on here? We don't really know. This is the moment where we really get introduced to Maul and his powers, where they tell him to change his mask, but we don't quite get what's going on yet. But you get some cool artwork there, let's be honest, right? So the fight continues. This dude winds up getting Jacob Marlowe, putting a gun to his head. Grifter's got him in his sights, but a blade comes in and shanks. Then another centerfold spread with the introduction of Zealot. This might be my favorite piece of art in this entire book. I had a huge crush on Zealot when I was a kid, and I think I still do. She is introduced to Jacob Marlowe. The villains are defeated, but Void has a strange warning. Something is coming up, and then the building they're in explodes. And then we get this final bit where Hellspawn is talking to their mole in the U.S. government, and it is no other than Dan Quayle, Vice President of the United States at the time. So overall, it's an okay issue. It's got some solid artwork. Jim Lee is trying to do some stuff. The coloring's pretty dope. Not to keep repeating over what Cartoonist Kayfabe already said, but it's on non-coded paper. It's colored very well. It's paced out decently enough, but there is a lot of ground trying to be covered here, and they really skip ahead very quickly. They linger on certain aspects, like this weird time jump back and forth in the beginning for no real reason, when there could have been a better way to introduce this as a first issue, and it even does utilize more pages than the typical first issue would at that time. But it's got some great moments of Jim Lee artwork. It's got some really confusing storytelling, but the dialogue I didn't find to be too bad. I was really worried that the dialogue by Brandon Choi would be really stunted and stiff, but it doesn't work that bad. And he was going to school for politics and history, and he wound up going to law school, and you can tell that he's kind of got this more like verbose kind of approach. They were definitely trying to mimic a little bit of Chris Claremont-ism. I even heard that they were trying to mimic Tom Orzechowski lettering here. But it is anchored by some really solid artwork for its time, but it's not as dynamic as it could be because each page has to have so much put in because they're really trying to tell this so fast. I think Wildcats could have benefited from some decompressed storytelling, especially with Jim Lee on the artwork, but that was just not what was done at the time. You had to introduce everything, all the elements in the first issue, so it does do it. It does get it in. It's got some nice pieces of artwork, but overall, it's not been as strong as the first issue of Savage Dragons. Not as strong to me as the first issue of Spawn, because Spawn was decompressed. It's like the ultimate decompressed story. You get like a tick of a story in Spawn, but you do get introduced to the concept in Spawn and in here. And you got some great payoffs, some great setups, and some great payoffs. Knowing the history of the Wildcats, it reads a little bit better. But if you didn't know anything, how would you know what the hell was going on? Altogether, Wildcats #1 is a fun revisit, and I'm excited to, not too far from now, revisit issue #2, and we just may find our way through every issue of Wildcats here on Image. In the 90s. By the way, I would give this a 3.5 you digs. Just because in context, it was on the level, if not a little bit better artistically than a lot of the other stuff going on. So there's my copy of Wildcats #1. It's actually still rather pristine. This was one I thought I had a money maker in my hand when I was a kid. But it prints really well. Sometimes on these Image books, you look and the coloring doesn't come across quite so well on the newer paper, but this one really does. It's got some fun little throwback ads in it that always fill me with nostalgia. I really like Jim Lee, and at the time, I thought Jim Lee was the best out of all of them. When I look back in hindsight, I don't know. Looking back on hindsight, and there's still a few I need to revisit, But it seems to me that my favorite artist out of all of them at that time may be McFarlane, but my favorite series might be Savage Dragon, because that shit was awesome. Wildcats does not have that kind of clarity. It does not have that kind of intensity. But it's basically Jim Lee and Brandon Choi doing their best impression of Chris Claremont, almost, in a way. But it is a difficult story to follow. They introduce so much in this. And like when I say centerfold, they really were centerfolds. Like, I remember being a kid thinking I was reading a Playboy, looking at shit like that. And in this first issue of Wildcats, all the centerfolds, they center around women. Sexy women. But there's a really great grifter panel I love. But it's fun to revisit this. I still don't have the complete Wildcats run, but I am actually close. I have all of Volume 2 and 3, and I am actually pretty close to Volume 1, which is not hard to do. Cyberforce ad. We've already covered the entire 4-issue miniseries on that. And then there's that, my favorite piece of artwork in the entire book. How many times has Jim Lee drawn that? A few. One thing I also like is there's an editorial at the beginning of this book. And in the editorial, Wetworks coming soon. In the editorial, Jim Lee mentioned, like, even says, you know, I'm not at the peak of my art. There's still so much more to learn. So it's a very humble editorial. So I liked it. I thought it was solid. I thought it was decent. And this has been, well, let's look at your comments real quick. John says, hell yeah, Wildcats. OUG says, grifter love. Joe says, you should get Joe Casey on the channel sometime. I'd love to have Joe Casey on the channel sometime, Joe Corallo. There are rumors swirling around. Two Gun says, Grifter was my favorite Wildcats member. Me too. Him and Zealot. Twitch says, it makes sense. It isn't action like explosions everywhere. It's like taking action. You're talking about covert action team? I get you. Okay. I also love the Grifter story in Urban Legends and Future State, says OUG. I agree. Bobby says Warblade was my favorite character. Albert says, I remember Warren Ellis was supposed to do a new Wildcats book with Ramon Villalobos on pencil. Shame that never came to fruition. Ellis's Wildstorm from a few years back was great. I agree. It is a shame. Bobby says, do you remember the Wildcats cartoon? I didn't care for the animation, but it had a snappy intro song. I loved that Wildcats cartoon. Bobby says that is a badass Zealot picture. Albert says, anyone read that Voodoo run during the New 52? I did. Was that Ron Mars at first? I remember reading it. I remember thinking it was kind of steamy at first. Fable says, great designs. Definitely intriguing on the first glance. And it came with cards. Uncut cards. But yeah. Ouroboros Snake says, but Voodoo with New 52 was fantastic, but different. And just for the clean cut, this has been Image in the 90s. All right, y'all, we're taking a quick break. When we come back, top 5 movies of 2006. And we're totally talking Turtles tonight. We still got a lot more to talk about here tonight on Rockin Robbie Live.
Never break, always fight, never quit, do it right, play the game, win it life, have no shame, there's no time, feel the pain, live the grind, I could change, in my mind, pick a lane, commit and climb, the only way to win it life, I never miss, that's fact, taking big swings, bitch, hand me the bat, put me in the ring, you'll go out in a bag, cause I sing what I mean, and I bring it to the mad light. Ain't got time to kill, I got time to feel. I took the red pill. I know life's short, so I wanna live real. But how's it supposed to feel? How's it supposed to feel? How's it supposed to feel? They wanna say my name, but they holding back. They wanna say they hate, but they know it's cap. I ain't play no games, I just do that's fact. And I don't feel no shame, it's a mood you lack. I go crazy, nah bitch I ain't lazy. Track after track, I work on the shit daily. Pass me the jack, right as fuel, got me hazy. About to unpack all these things I've been chasing. I've got visions in my head, like memories after death. To be a legend instead of something you can forget. I'm living up every breath, I'd rather lead than be led. I'll fill the seats as I spread with every word that I've said. How's it supposed to feel? How's it supposed to feel?
Hey everyone, it's Rex over at Dynamic Forces. Join us on Monday night on The Experience from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. Eastern. There'll be great comic collectibles and you'll have me, my buddy Robbie, and my buddy John. Okay, Robbie knows the comics, I sell the comics, and John just takes the comics all the way home. Anyway, join us on Monday night. We'll see you there.
We got a super chat from Jacob. Me and Tupac celebrating our birthdays on Thursday. Pour up a strong one this week. Happy birthday, Jacob. This goes out to you and to Pac. I ain't mad at you. Happy birthday, Jacob. Everybody tell Jacob happy early birthday. I see a lot of you already have. That's cool. I need some audience participation for this one tonight, y'all. You know how we roll. Oh, don't you know? Let me tell you about this little man I know. His name is Hellboy. He was sent to the earth some long time ago to save it or destroy. Brought to this earth by Rasputin, son of a demon and a nun, who had sex with the demon, but was raised by Professor Broom. Now he fights evil and monsters. Shit. Now he fights with the man who's the fish named Harry. That means fish. Now he fights with the fire dancer and an ectoplasmic method named BBRD. Happy birthday, Jacob! And Tupac. Thanks so much for the super chat. We really do appreciate it. And welcome back to Rockin Robbie Live here on a Sunday night for the final act of Rockin Robbie Live tonight. We've already had a great show. We talked about our favorite comic books from last week. We looked ahead at what was coming up in shops this week, including the DC sneak peek. We talked about Assault on Precinct 13, the second film from John Carpenter. Then we did a little bit of Image in the 90s. I'm talking about Jim Lee's Wildcats #1. That was a fun revisit. Don't think I was being too harsh on it. I still liked it. 3.5. You know? Follow Pop Culture Philosophers on Facebook and on Instagram. If you're on Facebook, you might as well join the PCP Army, the official Pop Culture Philosophers Facebook group. You can find podcasts and more at popculturephilosophers.com, and you can follow me on Twitter at the Rockin Robbie. You can check out, I already did the podcast bit, didn't I? Yeah. You can support the channel over at patreon.com/PCP and unlock exclusive benefits like being able to check out the podcasts live when we're recording them, or after the fact, check out the live, unedited, raw video performance of the newest podcast, Mel Brooks. Nobody's watched it. Nobody apparently signs up to patreon.com/PCP to check out the podcast. It's disheartening. So someone please go watch it. Just click it. It's a great show. Anyway, we'll be editing that together and releasing it to the public, but that is available as well as a audio download of the weekly comic book review is available to all levels of Patreon support. Over at patreon.com/PCP, you get the downloadable audio version of the weekly comic book review, usually about an hour and a half, 2-3 hours before it drops on YouTube. What is coming up here on the channel this week? Tomorrow night, 8 p.m. Central Time, is PCP Movie Night. It's Crew's Choice. It's that time of the year. Manny's pick is Dr. Sleep. Very excited to talk about this one. Wednesday night, 8 p.m. Central Time. Join us for the conclusion of Whiplash Wednesday as we discuss the second episode of Miss Marvel with the Bad Batch. We got Sean Lewis, the writer of King Spawn and The Scorched, joining us on the channel Thursday at 7 p.m. Central Time. And then Saturday, 6:30 p.m.-ish maybe. We'll find out. But Saturday night, Dylan's Horror Show, Horror Express. Very excited to check that one out. So how is everybody doing? Twitch says, Rob Liefeld was the only one that didn't get a cartoon. No. Cyberforce didn't get a cartoon either. So neither did Silvestri. He eventually got a live-action Witchblade TV series. And I think Silvestri's done good for himself. Cyberforce is not Could you imagine if he would have started with Witchblade or The Darkness? That would have really been powerful. But they came at the right time for Image in particular. But you're right. We got a Spawn series animated. We got Savage Dragon. We got Wildcats. We did not get Youngblood. They were so close on Youngblood. So close. People are still trying to make something out of that. You know we're going to be doing Youngblood at some point this year for Image in the 90s. But the thing is, I'm trying to figure out, do I do issue at a time or do I just do the whole first volume all at once? BJ asked Fable how he managed his comic books. Do you sell your old omnibus and singles and then send the rest and earn the money to buy new comics? Fable says, oh, okay, I didn't know what you meant. Yeah, BJ, I get rid of stuff that I thought was just okay. Sometimes I sell them, sometimes I give them away. Same here. Collect. Whittle that down. Because some things over time will fade. Interest in comics or certain collectibles, they'll fade. Sell those. Fund the hobby. And like Bobby says, Wetworks didn't get a cartoon either. Max got a cartoon. Pitt did not. Talking about Second Wave. No Wildstar cartoon. No Trencher. Oh, I'm ready to die to the Trencher. I never read Trencher, and I was getting into that shit. And then Kayfabe did a video like a couple months after I got all the issues up, and I was like, I beat the Kayfabe effect for once. Anyway, I'm going to meet those guys at Heroes Con. Very excited for that. Because the Rockin Robbie Tour is coming soon to you, and all Super Chats help support this. Heroes Con is next. Very excited for that show. But Memphis Comic Expo in September is looking really sharp, y'all. Really sharp. Greg Capullo, Scott Snyder, James O'Barr, Kevin Nolan. Need I say more? Because there is more. They're escaping me right now, though. Liana Kangas, friend of the show, is going to be there. All right, it's time to switch gears. Let's talk about top fives. Let's talk about movies. We've been going through these years. We're treading on through. We did 70s, 80s, 90s. Now we're doing the oddies. It's time to talk about our top 5 movies of 2006. So I want to know right now, what are your top 5 movies of 2006? I'm about to reveal mine. First up, the honorable mentions. Superman Returns. I love that film. I don't care what anybody says. Idlewild. The Outcast film. Gives me feels every time I watch it. I love that fucking movie. Idiocracy is the most prophetic fucking movie I've ever seen from Mike Judge, and I think it's actually better than Office Space. Jet Li's Fearless, one that I came to watch through Sifu Bullseye Bob's guidance in Kung Fu cinema. Holy shit, Fearless was really good, and that has been, outside of Hero, probably my favorite Jet Li film so far. We got another Jet Li film next week, though, with Tai Chi Master. The Departed, really like this film, but it is very much deserving of a revisit for me. There was a time where I did go chronologically through Scorsese's stuff, and it was right around the time Departed came out, but I haven't revisited a lot of those films since then. So after Carpenter, maybe we'll do Scorsese. You never know. But The Departed is something I definitely need to get back into. And The Prestige. Solid film. Not my favorite Christopher Nolan film, but my least favorite Christopher Nolan film is still a great-ass film. That's Insomnia, just so you know. But at number 5, I got Slither. We were talking about this earlier. This is a James Gunn movie starring Nathan Fillion, Elizabeth Banks, a whole bunch of other people. Michael Rooker, who was a fantastic actor in the movie Henry, Portrait of a Serial Killer, which we covered last night on Dylan's Horror Show, finally. But Slither is a great film, and we've already covered this on Dylan's Horror Show. Check out that show. But before that, check out this movie. At number 4, I got Hatchet. We briefly covered this on Dylan's Horror Show when we did the Adam Green look-in, but Hatchet is old school slasher horror done in the 2000s, and it worked. When so many other films were trying to play it safe or just going with the Saw Hostel route, Hatchet took it back to like Friday the 13th and some of those great slasher franchises from the 80s, and I still love that fucking film. At number 3, Casino Royale. If you check out our James Bond podcast, which we released not too long ago, spoilers, most of our favorite James Bond film is Casino Royale, including mine. It's just got it all. It's got the most depth into the character. My favorite James Bond is Sean Connery, but my favorite James Bond movie is Casino Royale. At number 2, Pan's Labyrinth. Guillermo del Toro, every movie he makes finds a place into my heart, and I love it so much. Pan's Labyrinth might be his opus, might be his best work. It is such a great, fantastical, darkly told tale that blends CG and like actual prosthetic effects perfectly. This movie is the best fantasy film I think I've ever seen. And at number 1, Southland Tales. We covered this on PCP Movie Night. This was Richard Kelly's follow-up to Donnie Darko. It did not win a lot of people over. A lot of people still don't like it, don't get it, don't understand it. That's fine. I fucking love this movie. I adore it. This is chapters 4, 5, and 6 of a 6-chapter story. Chapters 1, 2, and 3 were told in comic book form. I have that comic. I have that added benefit. But the first time I ever saw this movie, I didn't have that comic. I didn't understand it at all the first time I watched it. But there was something magical, something mesmerizing and mystical about this movie that made me want to keep watching it. And not just watch it, but study it. And I think this is the best fictional representation and interpretation of the Book of Revelation I've ever seen. Fuck Left Behind. It's Southland Tales. We did a PCP movie night for that for my birthday last year. Fan-fucking-tastic. So to recap, my favorite movies of 2006, honorable mentions, Superman Returns, Idlewild, Idiocracy, Fearless, The Departed, and The Prestige, and also 300. Honorable mention there. But number 5, I've got Slither. Number 4, Hatchet. Number 3, Casino Royale. Number 2, Pan's Labyrinth. And number 1, Southland Tales. What do you think? What are your top 5 movies of 2006? We got Zach in the house saying Slither, Monster House, Paprika, Perfume, Pan's Labyrinth, and Bug. William says The Host, Casino Royale, Crank, Snakes on a Plane, and 300. We need some more responses, chat. Come on, PCP Army. Throw out your favorite movies of 2006. I know right now you guys are on Google looking. So let me know what y'all think. We'll wait. And once again, to Jacob's birthday this week, to Brian's birthday yesterday, and to Jim Mint's birthday today. Two Gun Pedro says Slither, 300, Fearless, Departed, and Apocalyptico. Nice list. I've never seen Apocalyptico, though. BJ says Children of Men, X-Men. I've never seen Children of Men. A homie of mine was telling me that that's really good, and I've heard that that's really good from many people, but I've never seen it. X-Men Last Stand, Casino Royale, Pirates of the Caribbean, Dead Man's Chest, and Perfume. Bobby says 300. This is Sparta. By the way, I don't own 300. Well, the movie or the book. I was specifically talking about the book, but I don't have the movie anymore either. But I don't own the book, and it's actually not fucking that easy to find, and it's pissing me off. Through my distributors. I could probably find it online. But I got to rebuild my fucking Frank Miller collection. But I've been working on it. I have every Martha Washington. I have all of his Daredevil stuff in trade. I've never gotten rid of that. I have his complete Frank Miller Daredevil Spider-Man hardcover. I'm glad I never got rid of that. I've been getting back his Sin City. I've got Hard Boiled. I got all the Martha Washington, like I said. Let me get 300. I want to reread that so I can finally read Xerxes. I guess, should I get Holy Terror? I didn't really like Holy Terror. Maybe I should revisit it and see. Albert says Apocalyptico, Slither, and 300. Very nice. All right, I need some more responses. I want to hear some more responses. Why you guys get them in? Station identification. All right, to finish out Albert's list, he put Slither and The Departed, and from Twitch we got Idiocracy, Smoking Aces, The Prestige, Flags of Our Fathers, and The Departed. Letters from Iwo Jima is really good too. And Jacob says The Departed, Pursuit of Happiness, 300, ATL. I liked ATL a lot. And The Dead Man's Chess. All right. Fable says The Prestige, 300, Pan's Labyrinth, Casino Royale, The Departed. Hell yeah. Hey, Black Box Comics in the house. Station. Very excited for your new release from Eric Palicki, who is a friend of the show. Is it Ninja Gaiden? I think like Bueller's the one that told me about it when I saw him on Free Comic Book Day. And Eric is a fantastic writer, so I'm really excited to check out that book, Black Box Comics. Thanks for showing up. That's awesome. How hard is it to write a new comic book character and an established character? Well, I've never written established comic book characters, but I'll go back to what Ron V said when we asked him something similar to that. He said, when you're writing established characters, you're contributing to a tapestry of mythology. And he looks at it like that. And when you're creating your own thing, it's more about what you want to say. Albert says, definitely Pan's Labyrinth. Yeah, I need to rewatch that soon. Eric says, Departed, Prestige, Slither, Children of Men, and Scanner Darkly. I like Scanner Darkly, Richard Linklater. Like rotoscope type shit. Yeah, Ninja Gaiden, that's right. Awesome. Looking forward to that one. And I always wanted to check out Shin Okage. I never did get to check it out. I wanted to, because Bullseye Bob always talked that one up. And now that I'm in all these fucking Kung Fu movies, I really want to watch that shit. Twitch says, correction to my list, Casino Royale should be number 5. Okay, we'll allow that amendment. Fable says, Pan's Labyrinth is a masterpiece in my opinion. Albert says, no doubt, Fable. Hell yeah. All right, we're switching gears because I made a promise that for the next 5 episodes, we were going to be talking about the first season of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. And y'all, don't think I'm ever lying because we're totally talking Turtles tonight.
Heroes in a half shell, turtle power.
All right, so we've already done episodes 1 and 2 of Turtles. Today, I watched episode 3. It's called A Thing About Rats. Once again, written by David Wise and Patty Howarth. But A Thing About Rats introduces the Mousers and all that stuff. So once again, this was basically designed like the first episodes of, say, Transformers and G.I. Joe. Excuse me. As like a mini-series, right? So it picks up directly from the last episode where Splinter was in a fight with Shredder. So Splinter's like out of it. Turtles and April are like, oh man, poor Splinter. They decide they need to go back out and look for the Technodrome. This is going to be a theme in this episode. These turtles spend most of this episode looking for the fucking Technodrome, and they can't find it. But then we cut to the Technodrome, and inside we got Shredder. Or actually what we see is this long-ass drill tube come up, drill through this old abandoned house on the surface, and Shredder walks out. He's established a new base of operations in this abandoned house. That's a weird stretch that they have all this technology to bring up this fucking giant-ass drill tube just to take him to the surface, but they can't defeat these fucking turtles. Anyway, he's looking for new technology, new ideas to kill the turtles. He sends these robotic spies out. They find Baxter Stockman, who in the animated series was a white dude. So when I first read the comics, I remember being like, whoa. Baxter Stockman's not white? Fucked me up. Like, I didn't understand. The original Baxter Stockman is a black man. And it is for most of the animated series. But here he's the white dude, but he's this, like, sniveling, cowardly version of him. Almost in a way. It's interesting. But he's trying to sell the Mousers to exterminators. They don't want anything to do with it. But the Shredder sees potential in his invention of the Mousers. Meanwhile, the Turtles are trying to find the Technodrome. And they're sucking at it. So Shredder tells Baxter that he wants to mass produce these Mousers, but he wants him to develop a master control panel to control them, because he's going to create thousands of these fuckers, right? So Bebop and Rocksteady show up for their only appearance in this episode, and they give all this technical gadgets, bits, and parts to Baxter. Now he has to build it. Meanwhile, the Turtles are still in the sewer looking for the Technodrome, not finding shit. So Shredder starts making all these Mousers, and he gets a little bit impatient and immediately says, let's send them after Splinter. But he has a tense, attention-filled confrontation with Krang, who's like, why are you wasting time on this bullshit? You should be building my body. And Shredder's like, I have more important things to deal with. Yamato Yoshi is alive. I've got to kill him. And Krang tells him, I hope you fucking fail. He's so cold-blooded, man. It's like, what did the five fingers say to the face? Meanwhile, the Turtles are looking for the Technodrome and sucking at it. Then the Mousers attack Splinter, and he's about to get overwhelmed, but somehow miraculously, the Turtles have given up on finding the Technodrome, understood how much they suck at it, and they show up just in time to save the day. But then they notice that all of the Mousers say Baxter Stockman Inventions. And they're like, even like, what kind of idiot signs his murder minions? So they go to April's apartment for her help. She uses her computer to find out where Baxter Stockman's home address is. Meanwhile, the Turtles go through hijinks. One of them's trying to take a bubble bath, and it just goes crazy. April's like, get the fuck out of here. So they go to find Baxter Stockman. He is now finished building the master control panel, and he's going to go home and have a good rest. And Shredder, meanwhile, has completed thousands of Mousers. He sends Foot Clan to follow Baxter home because he's going to kill Baxter because he knows too much. But the Turtles show up just in time, once again, to save the day. They take out the Foot, they wrap up Baxter Stockman, make him tell them where Shredder is hiding out at this old house. So then, how do they go about getting there? They steal the motherfucker's van. They steal Baxter Stockman's van, and this van becomes important. We'll get to that later. Meanwhile, the Mousers have been sent by Shredder to attack Splinter again, but since he's at April's apartment, they attack her apartment where Splinter and April is. And the Turtles show up just in time again, easily defeat the Mousers. Then they go to the secret location where Shredder's base is. Michelangelo sneaks in. He's supposed to destroy the master control. For some reason, they decide to send Mikey in. Shredder knows what's up, though. He's got cameras everywhere. And he captures Mikey. So Mikey is captured, and Shredder sends all of these Mousers after the Turtles and April and Splinter out there at Baxter's van. However, Krang comes and lets Michelangelo loose and tells him where Shredder is and how to destroy the master control, which then he shows up and Mikey destroys the control panel. Actually, Shredder does, but Mikey does some clever rearranging to make that happen. And so all the Mousers going after the Turtles, Splinter, and April, they go away. But Donnie has figured out how to control them with this remote that they have found in Baxter's minivan and sends them back after Shredder. Shredder gets away, goes back in his big drill bit, and then the whole house is destroyed and crumbles. So then there's a frantic search for Michelangelo, but they find him. He's just cracking jokes. They get in the van, they go off, and Donatello's like, there's a lot of high-tech surveillance equipment in this van. We can convert this to help us in our search for Shredder. This is what's going to become the Turtle Van. And that has been a thing about rats. This was a solid episode. I'll give it 4 you digs. What are your recollections? Do you remember this? I love how this is going in this miniseries format. It's still a little bit case of the week, monster of the week, but it's fitting in this overarching narrative. And that's something I liked about this when it first debuted. I remember I was in 2nd grade. I watched this every fucking morning, 7 a.m. on Fox 54. I could not get a fucking enough of the Turtles. I think it still actually holds up. You can't binge it, but you can watch it an episode at a time, a week at a time, and have fun, especially when you could come up here on Rockin Robbie Live, because we're always totally talking Turtles tonight.
Heroes in a half shell, turtle power.
Great episode, though. Rocksteady had the John Bernthal brow in the picture you had. Sinner24 says, I don't remember any of it, and it was my favorite cartoon. It's always worth a revisit. It's not on Nickelodeon or on Paramount Plus. The Nickelodeon series is, and I think the 2000 series is, but not the original. I've got the Turtle Van DVD set, but I think that's a little bit expensive now. I don't know. They need to have this easily available to stream. But 2 more episodes of season 1 of Turtles. I'm excited to revisit them. So next week we'll follow the next one, and then we'll be on a break for Heroes Con, and then when we come back we'll do the final one, and maybe we'll go back to X-Men for season 2. So to let everybody know their homework for next week, we're doing a Kung Fu movie, Tai Chi Master. That's the movie for next week. For the comic book segment, we're doing another Image in the 90s. In fact, I'll go ahead and let you know. We're doing Wildcats number 2. I want to see how the story develops over a few issues. So we're going to spend some time on Wildcats. Because I really like the issue-to-issue approach. I get to show you all of the art of the issue and commentary. So it's almost like it's become a single-issue commentary. I don't know. We'll see what happens. I like covering big stories sometimes. But we'll see where we develop. Next week, Wildcats number 2, the original. Top 5 movies of 2007. Turtles episode 4. That's what we'll be talking about. Now it's time for show and tell. So, show and tell wise, I've been making sure I can put into alt mode all of the Transformers I own. This is the last open Transformer I have yet to transform into alt mode, so I did it today. There is Ultra Magnus, Earthrise. There are elements in all of these that I'm always disappointed in. I'm disappointed that you can still see the fists on the back of the truck. I'm disappointed that those are crooked. Those should be straight, but they're crooked. It doesn't fit as tightly as I want. It's a little loose. However, I am pleased. It is Ultra Magnus in the truck carrier form. Pretty fucking dope. I just got this. Hold on. Yeah, just got this Transformer in this week. Wheeljack. So I missed out on Wheeljack at first. So I asked Mike, I was like, yo, bro, I need a Wheeljack. And he found me one at a Walgreens. So I got a Wheeljack. We'll definitely open that up one day. I showed this up on Dylan's Horror Show. This is my my buy of the week, though. It's the Raphael's the Frankenstein monster NECA figure. We'll open this up one day, but super cool. It's going to stay in the box for now. Comic book wise. So I showed this off on Dylan's Horror Show and on my Instagram show. But I picked up the trade paperback collection of Gary Gianni's Monster Men and Other Scary Stories. If you're not familiar with his work, just look at it. It's fucking awesome. So I was really excited for this. So this collects his Monster Men story and a bunch of other little shorts. It's got amazing artwork. Really cool stuff. Really great pen work. But I knew I had this and I found it. I had to do some digging in the corner over there, but I found it. So I bought this back in the early 2000s. This is Gary Gianni, Corpus Monstrum, Volume 1. This is Chapter 1 of the Monster Men that's in that collection. So this was how I bought it originally. Super big, as you can see. Like bigger than the trade, actually, that's out now. So this is the first chapter of that. And it's got amazing artwork. And it's huge. And it's printed like in this like pamphlet kind of thing. But I love the fact that I still have this because got the signed book plate by Gary Gianni as well. I love his artwork. I haven't thought about him in a long time. This I saw available, and it made me rethink. Oh, yeah, Gary Gianni. I used to be into him. And this is from when I was into them. And I got that signed edition back in the day. Dope. Twitch says it'll cost $90 for all 10 seasons of TMNT through Amazon. Zach says, I need that Turtles horror set. Hell yeah. They're doing more. Raphael's just the first. Next is Michelangelo as the Mummy. Then we're getting Leonardo as Igor. April as the Bride. They just announced Donnie as the Invisible Man. And Splinter as Van Helsing. Demetrius Johnston says, first time lives, thanks for what you do. Well, thank you so much. The alt mode on Magnus is okay, says Fable. Just okay. I like it. It's not as good as Optimus, but was it ever? Let's be honest. Is Donnie's just an empty box now? All right. And now it's time for the final bit of show and tell. It's time for Final Five. So for the Final Five, we're still going through the Blu-ray collection. We're still in the S's. Slumdog Millionaire. I think we'll be talking about this very soon on a top 5. I fucking love this movie, Danny Boyle. I love that movie. Small Soldiers. That's one of the times the Oscars got this shit right, y'all. Small Soldiers. We covered this on PCP Movie Night. Very popular show, so check it out if you haven't already. Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. Classic Disney with the slip. I fucking love this movie. I love classic Disney in their first few decades. Society. A Brian Usna film that we definitely need to be covering on Dylan's Horror Show. And Two Gun, I want you to know, I tell him about this every fucking week. We need to do Society. We need to do Society. And he just keeps fucking ignoring me. So maybe you need to let him know. We need to do Society. The movie's going to fuck people up. And the last movie tonight, appropriately enough for the Final Five, is Someone's Watching Me, which happens to be the next step in the journey of John Carpenter. So after the Heroes Con break, join us as I watch for the first time Someone's Watching Me, John Carpenter made-for-TV horror film that he filmed right before he filmed Halloween. So I'm excited. Technically his third movie. So there you go. Anyway, thank you so much for joining us once again. Dr. Sleep, tomorrow night, PCP Movie Night, 8 p.m. Central Time. Miss Marvel, 8 p.m. Central Time, Wednesday, with the Bad Batch, an episode review and discussion of Episode 2. Sean Lewis, writer of King Spawn and The Scorched, will be joining us Thursday at 7 p.m. Central Time for a conversation. And Dylan's Horror Show, Saturday night, Horror Express. We're super excited to see y'all. This has been fun. It always is. We'll catch y'all next week for Rockin Robbie Live. Don't forget to catch any of those other shows. Plus, of course, the weekly comic book review and the weekly pop culture wrap-up. Y'all, this has been a pleasure, as always. I will say, wherever you go, there you are. Station. Pop, pop, boom. Thanks for rocking with us, y'all.
Never break, always fight, never quit, do it right, play the game, win it life, have no shame, there's no time, feel the pain, live the grind, I could change, in my mind, pick a lane, commit and climb, the only way to win it life, I never miss, that's fact, taking big swings, bitch, hand me the bat, put me in the ring, you'll go out in a bag, cause I sing what I mean and I bring it to the mad light. Ain't got time to kill, I got time to feel. I took the red pill, I know life's short so I wanna live real. But how's it supposed to feel? How's it supposed to feel? How's it supposed to feel? They wanna say my name, but they holding back. They wanna say they hate, but they know it's cap. I ain't play no games, I just do that's fact. And I don't feel no shame, it's a mood you lack. I go crazy, nah bitch I ain't lazy. Track after track, I work on the shit daily. Pass me the jack, right as fuel, got me hazy. About to unpack all these things I've been chasing. I've got visions in my head, like memories after death. To be a legend instead of something you can forget. I'm living up every breath, I'd rather lead than be led. I'll fill the seats as I spread with every word that I've said. How's it supposed to feel?
How's it supposed to feel out there, PCP Army? Welcome to the after show.
How's it supposed to feel?
That's right. All right, y'all. I need another transformer to transform. So I need something. I got to open up a transformer now. I got a stockpile of transformers I haven't opened. Tonight we're gonna open up Scourge. It's from the Transformers movie. This is one of the Seekers gets turned. There's some Scourges. Whatever. There's a sweep I still got to get. Same fucking toy, repainted. Not the first time if you're a Transformer fan. These things make a base inside. That's really cool. I've never utilized that. Let's cut these annoying ass ties off. So I like the design of Scourge. The alt mode is not my favorite for Scourge and Sweet, but I like the design a lot. I like a lot of the new Transformer designs from the movie, 86, of course. And I like this figure. Looks good. Looks really good. Great posability. I love these Hasbro Transformers. These are the best figures they do. Fuck Marvel Legends. Fuck Lightning Collection. Fuck Black Series. The Transformers stuff is some of the best stuff Hasbro's doing. That's a great sculpt. I cannot wait to learn over the week how to transform it into its alt mode. Like this UFO looking shit. He's got like... Didn't he look like Camera Head almost from fucking Hellraiser 3? It's pretty dope. Decepticon, baby. Decepticon, baby. Decepticon, baby. Decepticon, baby.
Yeah. Please tell me that I can't, that I won't, that I fail, that I'll never make it out, yeah. Please tell me all the bad, never good, fill my head full of every single doubt, yeah. Please say any negative thoughts, I pop off when I hear people say I cannot. I get off to the thought of proving everyone wrong, I won't stop to the top, so you better back off and get lost. I'ma stay loud, stay proud, never running out, never heading south. I'll be spreading out, call it word of mouth, can't put me down, I'll be getting loud. You can have your doubts, not what I'm about, have your fucking cloud, it be raining now, I keep making sound, go another round, bitch I'm legend bound, can't stop me now. You don't wanna fuck with me, a slow burn like a disease. Just tell me that I can and I'll show you things that you couldn't believe. Just tell me that I can. 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 Anything negative, cause I just wanna hear it out your mouth, yeah. Give me fuel, it's a tool that I use to go ahead and run my fucking mouth, yeah. I take shots, I take loss, I make shots, I miss lots. That's how you get big box, you get yachts, you swing lots and pop off a big shot. I ain't done chasing, got big dreams, bigger things, impatient. Who's at the top think they need replacement? Who's at the top think I'm gonna erase that, face it. I don't give up quick, I don't give up shit, I won't give up this. Cause I know that I want it, know that I'm on it, I'll make it, I promise. You don't wanna fuck with me, a slow burn like a disease. Just tell me that I can and I'll show you things that you couldn't believe. Just tell me that I can. Just tell me that I can. Just tell me that I can. Just tell me that I can.
All right, time for a taste test. So we're tasting this brand new Coca-Cola. It's actually a Coke Zero. So it's only available on their website. But Mike, the voice Matthews, member of the PCP crew, excitable we are, picked us up some. He tried it. He said it tasted like a grape diet soda. So this is Coca-Cola Bite. Taste the magic of pixels. So, you know, they just widely released Starlight or whatever the hell that was. I loved the Zero version of that. It was supposed to taste like space. So this is supposed to taste like pixels. It's got this 80s flair. Coca-Cola Creations. Mike gave me the box, so I'll show it off. It opens up. It's got a lot of obnoxious packaging. Then this would open up. And the two sodas would be in there. It's very similar to when I ordered the new Coke when they did that for the last Stranger Things season. So here is a chilled can of Coca-Cola Zero Sugar Bite. Supposed to taste like pixels. Mike said it tastes like a grape Coca-Cola. Let's try it, y'all. It smells like fucking cough syrup. Oh, man. It doesn't taste like what I imagine tasting the inside of a Nintendo while it's running tastes like. That's weird. Mike is right. It's like a grape berry diet cola. I don't know if I like it, though. I mean, it's like a beer. You like it the more you sip it for some reason. I did not like it at first. I'm starting to acquire the taste, though. Hold on. What is that? It is like grapey. I mean, it's like a purple can. The soda itself even looks purpley. Don't really have anything to put it in. I have this Chipette's glass. It hasn't been cleaned, though. It looks purpley. Three, you digs. I don't know if I like it. I wouldn't drink this every day. And yeah, you're right, Two Gun. The can looks fucking dope. But I don't know if I like it. Three. It's okay. It's okay. It's not something I drink every day. But it's an interesting experiment. What's up, Harry? How you doing, bro? Just in time for the end.